that song fires me up. It fires me up. Hey, everybody. I'm Home Alone for Thanksgiving. Friday Night Tights will be tomorrow with just some guy. Definitely not affiliated with myself. Definitely not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers. Highly radicalized, but not highly organized. Often late, but regrettably, but glad to be here. Hi, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you ate a lot of turkey. I didn't. I had leftovers. I had leftover carne asada burrito, and I have been watching some pretty bad television all day, and I needed a break. I'm in the middle of recording my Hawkeye review, which I will say it's better than Star Trek Discovery, which I have been trying to put off for a week. So I'm going to review the first 2 episodes. It'll be out this weekend. I'm going to let Perry edit it. Oh, this last episode was bad. It's funny. It really is funny how desperate Hollywood is for content, for streaming services that are starting to flatline now. So we'll see who's here. And, not everybody gets to spend time with their family. Not everybody isn't working today. I know some people asked me to do this a little later, so I did. So they're able to, just chill out with our friends here in the stream and just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I don't have much planned. Not that I generally do for these live streams. But I figure we'll go over some, we can do some square up stuff. We can talk about Hawkeye if you want. I've watched both episodes. Get rid of this screen right here. Watched both episodes. Oh, geez. What did I just do? There we go. That's what I needed. Again. And I watched Star Trek Discovery. I did mix in an episode of Doctor Who, so I did get to see something good. I watched Girl in the Fireplace. I've kind of been going through my new Who favorite episodes, and oh God, that show was so good. It's such a shame. It makes it so much worse when you see how good it was. And now that we're on our 5th Marvel series. 5th on Disney Plus, and we've had 4 movies. We got 1 more. If things start to drag, like I said, the subscribers have flatlined on Disney Plus. They've flatlined on pretty much every streaming service, save for, I believe, Amazon Prime. And people are going to start saying superhero fatigue, Marvel fatigue. No, it is bad storytelling fatigue. Bad storytelling fatigue. We have had so much of it for so long now that we, Hawkeye is not the worst thing from Marvel. There's an attempt in it to have a little fun. But the dialogue and it drags. And they're going to bring Daredevil stuff in it, and it's just they've already brought in a Daredevil character, and at the very end, nobody's going to recognize her. But just don't do it. I heard there's going to be a Kingpin cameo at some point. We'll see. But let's see who's here first. Let's see who's here. We got Happy Thanksgiving from DC, from Dub. What's up? Bastard and his wrench is here. What's up? Rick No. And we got Steven S. I'm just randomly clicking on names. You guys could be saying, fuck Gary right now. I have no idea. Warren Smith. What's up, Mr. Six, Opus? We got Arshad Majid says, hail. Brother Paul, I'll get to that super chat in just a minute. Gordy Sky Mop, Fury 58, Average Joe. Oh, Mo, what's up? Oh, that's my buddy right there. Oh, I love your freaking avatar picture. Give me the map. You know what? I'll show you guys the map later. I have the map. It's in my closet. I'll go and grab it later. I was gonna get Egon out because I promised to show Egon, and maybe I will later. It's buried in a box, but I've got the 1/6 scale. Ghostbusters had it for a long time. Never taken it out of the box. Was a little inspired after seeing Ghostbusters, but the official Dougie J. Let me tell you about the official Dougie J. That's Doug. It's my friend Doug. He was very important in my formative nerd years. We watched Star Trek. I wouldn't have watched Star Trek if it wasn't for Doug. And we watched we watched Raiders of the Lost Ark together, Superman 2 together, Blade Runner in the theater with my mom together. Yeah, Doug's a good one. What's up, buddy? And who else do we have here? US Dutch Kitty. What's up? US Dutch Kitty. How's it going? And Chris Persia, the Canadian wrench. What's up? What's up? I didn't bother. That's what I've heard a lot of people saying about Star Trek is they didn't bother. I just have not gotten around, Tom, to reviewing it because but I have been laughing my ass off watching it. I have to admit, it's been pretty funny. Hey, nerds come in all shapes and sizes, and we do not mean to shame people for how much they weigh or how much that what the color of their skin. But let's just keep in mind that Tilly is supposed to be officer material, and it was, I believe, in season 2 where she was running laps on the Discovery, and she lapped what looked like a real track star, some Asian guy. And she has gone from ensign to number 1, but now she's not number 1 anymore, Tom. There it is, right there. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, she's gone from ensign to lieutenant to number 1, back to lieutenant because Saru is now number 1. They offered him a ship, but he said no because he just has to work for Michael Burnham or Space Jesus, however you want to refer to her as. And the Anomaly is something I am rooting like hell for because it's just ripping its way through the Star Trek Discovery universe. Honestly, the Anomaly, and I am Team Anomaly and Team Flux. Let's do this. Let's rip it all down. Oh, why do I review this stuff? Well, it's fun to mock it, and I'm just not letting it go. I hope to watch Doctor Who again someday. I would love to watch Star Trek again someday. I don't know if I could get around Star Wars. Is just I don't know. I don't know why Star Wars is just so done with me. Probably because I just know what Disney's going to do with it. Watching what Disney has done with Marvel, which is just turn it into Disney. Hawkeye is based on the Matt Fraction run that came out in 2012. It was kind of not in continuity. It was kind of an outside of continuity tale. It's got, and it was fine. It sold pretty well. It was pretty well received. Because it was written in 2012, and it was written by Matt Fraction. Now, who is Matt Fraction? Matt Fraction is a decent comic book writer. Unfortunately, he's part of the group, the new group that has come in and just utterly decimated comics. And he's married to Kelly Sue DeConnick. So he brought us that. Thanks a lot. I'm grateful for that. Thanksgiving edibles for the win, brah. 420 Thanksgiving. I'm glad edibles were not around when I was partaking. I probably would have liked those a little bit too much. Oh, of course I would have. Of course I would have. Hey, we got a $50 super chat already. It says, Hail Gary. By the way, it's from Toxic Fandom. Welcome. All you toxic white supremacists and racists. I was watching a Sydney Watson video last night where she said, basically, I'm done. Call me what you like. I got there a while ago. I just don't take it seriously. And part of her video was saying, like, hey, they know they're full of it and they're lying. We know they're lying, yet they say it anyway for optics. And that's the game we play here, right? Even though technically Hillary Clinton coined the term, but then Alex Jones took it over. Information wars. But that's exactly what it is. We're sitting there playing this game of optics, and we all know like none of this shit is true, but we're letting it play out anyway, right? So she was just like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't care. Call me what you want. I'm tired of and that's part of it. It's always keeping us on the defensive. You know, we're always backpedaling. We're never under, sound. We're never on sound ground. Toxic Fandom for $50 says, Hail Gary, I read an article earlier today. Apparently, a British MP stated that replacing male role models with women, like in Doctor Who, is leading to an increase in crime from younger boys due to not having positive role models. Well, boys need positive role models. That is absolutely true. And it's we want to be careful. And Problem Being sent me this audio, and we'll look at it in just a second. Toxic Fandom. I think there's an accumulative effect. All right. So the desecration of fatherhood in entertainment, the deconstruction of it, it's pulverized. It doesn't exist. Like, you know what? Hawkeye, for example, Toxic Fandom. Thank you for the $50. I appreciate it. They changed Kate Bishop's father's origin in the comic books. He's a criminal and has criminal dealings, which leads to Kate Bishop getting kidnapped. They changed that for the positive in the show. They made him a good father. He's still kind of a loser. He's screwing something up. There's an argument. Young Kate Bishop overhears the argument. Dad goes upstairs, calms her down. It's really nice, very fatherly. Some, empty platitudes, and then says, I'm going to go down to his office. And then he dies. So they had a good father in there for a second, but then they killed him. Here, let's Problem Being. Hail Problem Being, by the way. Been sending me some good stuff. Oh, wow. Okay. Hang on before we get to that. So Howard Stern says, I used to be into freedom, but not anymore. Stern said, I feel good about what's going on in my country. I might have to run to clean this. I don't feel good about what's going on in my country. I might have to run to clean this fucking mess up. Run, Howard Stern, run. You freaking sellout. Is this it? Yeah, this is it right here.
There seems to be a call from a tiny yet very...
There it is. Let's bring it over this way so we can full screen it. And I will share it. I'm pretty sure this is it.
Everywhere, not at least within the cultural sphere, there seems to be a call from a tiny yet very vocal minority that every male character or good role model must have a female replacement. One only needs to look at the discussion surrounding who will play the next James Bond. And it's not just James Bond. In recent years, we have seen Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, Luke Skywalker, The Equalizer, all replaced by women. And men are left with the Craze and Tommy Shelby. Is there any wonder we are seeing so many young men committing crime?
Now, I don't know if that leads directly to crime. Okay. Like I said, there's a shit. Sorry, Parvo Being. There's a fine line. That's all right. He just shares stuff. There's a fine line between sounding like the PMRC and then basically saying that things lead directly to crime. We need positive male role models, and where I saw most of that, the best example is in prison. Okay, what I saw in prison, there are, I would say, there's common elements in certain situations with individuals. So what I observed in my time locked up was a commonality between abuse and no positive male role model. Now, that's not to put it all on, like, some single mothers are really good. Okay. And not every person is in that situation. And there are bad dads out there for sure. I mean, hey, my birth father bailed on my mom when she was 16, right? He planted his seed and took the hell off. I've never met the guy. I think I know what his name is. I've never bothered looking for him. It's never been that important to me because my dad is the one who adopted me. It's the guy who raised me, and he was a positive role model for me. And while we didn't get along all the time, that's good because we're not supposed to be buddies. He's supposed to be my dad, right? And he was my dad, and he would be my dad when he needed to be my dad, which was in the hard times, and he had to make hard decisions like booting me out. And I think what's important, I think Doctor Who in particular was an important male role model in the UK, and it's hard. I don't even fully understand it, to be honest with you, but what that show meant to the UK, it's like ingrained in the fabric of that country. It's part of their national pride. We don't have a show like that here. We don't have anything like that here. And I think James Bond's the same. And the reason they had to go after particularly Doctor Who first, and then they're still going to try on James Bond. We've been told James is going to remain male, but this is equivalent to tearing down statues. That they are out there to take that down. Otherwise, you would do something like take Romana. I've said this 1,000 times on this channel. You take a character like Romana and you make a show for Romana. For one, it's a good name. So you have good branding there. It's a good name. You would be able to regenerate into all the women you want to, of all makes, shapes, and sizes. She is an important figure in Doctor Who, and you could make her, there's just endless possibilities. And you could air that show while you're working on Doctor Who, and you would have year-round Doctor Who. And you would just make more money, and it would add to the mythos. And there's so much more you can do. You can take a different approach with that show. You could make it a little more sophisticated or adult, make it, not as much as maybe Torchwood, but go that direction with Romana. And then you could have crossovers and do all kinds of crazy fun shit. And they didn't do that. They wanted to replace the male character, simply to replace the male character. And they didn't think about it at all. Jodie's not written like a female. She's written like an awkward human. That's it. There's no real personality to her doctor. There's no gravitas, there's no anything, and that has everything to do with the writing, and it also has something to do with the performance. Now, who do I blame the most for the destruction of Doctor Who? Piers Vanger and Chris Chibnall. But Jodie Whittaker didn't do the work she needed to do through inexperience, naivete. I'm not really sure, but she never endeared herself to the fans, and she was going to have to try 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as hard because it wasn't fair. She was going to be criticized just for being a woman. That is a fact. But she didn't do anything to win people over. She just decided to fall back on, well, they're just sexist. Well, that's a great way to sell your big change to a show to fans who have been devoted and loyal to you for years. And I remember talking to Christian from the Traveling TARDIS on a podcast with him months ago, where he said he talked to 2 young women who at a convention, and the question was asked, "Are you upset about the female doctor?" Nobody raised their hand, right? Nobody raised their hand because they were out of fear of retribution or scorn or whatever. And these 2 women walked up to him and said, "Hey, I was afraid to answer. I am upset about this." And I think a large, if not the majority of the female audience is upset with the change of Doctor Who. That's why they have lost. They say it's a net gain of females. I would say it's a loss. I think everything's a net loss with Doctor Who. Positive real male role models are important in society, and you can see the parts of society that don't have them. And it's a very difficult conversation that a lot of people are not willing to have. You know, you got to show people that there's a way and there's hope. And part of fighting that is showing gratitude for things. Like, sure, I'll complain about Doctor Who and have fun and Star Trek, but there is still so much more in my life that I am grateful for. So it's a balance. I don't expect to be happy about everything, and I'm not. And it's not reality to just sit back and just be grateful for stuff and don't worry about anything else. Well, you choose your battles. There's a lot of things you don't worry about. There's some things you do. And considering what we've seen in the last 18 months and 20 months now, culture is important. Culture is very important. And when we lose culture, we lose society. And all I've ever asked is for a balance to be brought back to culture. Got an interesting little email. It wasn't, it was DM. And in this DM, it started out, just pretty much railing on me, and that's fine. But it started out with, you conservatives want this done and that. Basically, I don't know if they've watched my stuff or just caught a piece of it. But I don't want to speak for everyone, but I can speak for my mates on Friday Night Tights. Not a single one of them has asked for anything conservative to be put in to Doctor Who. And there are conservative Doctor Who fans and Star Trek fans. And this person had a little trouble getting their mind around it because they see all conservatives as racists and white supremacists. So this label that has been repeated over and over again disingenuously has stuck. And now we have provocateurs using it constantly, and it's gotten to a dangerous point. And this is the kind of stuff we've been talking about for 2 years. And it's meant to make you afraid to speak your mind. So we have to walk through the fear, right? And not give a shit with these people and think and remind them that we are the majority, the common sense folk, the folk who are generally in the middle, who just want to go about their day, go to work, enjoy something, enjoy some creature comforts, and that's it. Get their 2 to 3 weeks paid vacation every year, work their job that they like or don't like or are okay with. Not everybody gets to do what they love to do. I've spent most of my life doing stuff I was okay with. I actually liked my blue collar job for the most part. It got frustrating at times dealing with car salesmen. You ever deal with car salesmen? I thought they were the worst until I got online. Till I got online. Hey, we got another. There was another audio clip I wanted to play again. Yeah, problem being said that there's a Jody goodbye speech. That's here.
There was a big kind of when I said this is your final.
Yeah, here we go. Freaking Jody. I just think she got off on the wrong foot. Jody could have done so much more, and it would have at least softened things. It wouldn't have changed anything. And for the record, again, if there was a dude in this role right now and the show was written the same way, I would feel exactly the same way. As much as I loved Capaldi, season 10 is, or series 10 for you guys in the UK, is unwatchable. It's absolutely unwatchable.
There was a big kind of when I said this is your final series.
Oh,
but
yeah, don't get me going.
You finished filming it, right?
Yeah.
So what was the last day on set like for you?
I was an emotional wreck, and I started crying.
Started crying. I got to chop this up, by the way.
Someone said, "Oh, you know, this is the last time Jodie will rehearse in this place." I went, "Oh my God."
That's what I think. Oh my God. This is like she's a thumbnail machine, by the way.
And then I nicked some and put it back.
Did you take something? Did you take? What did you take?
Took a little souvenir. I'd earned it. I'm not saying what because I don't want them to know.
What, you take her sonic screwdriver home and actually use it as a vibrator? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I can go over this whole thing.
God, and I was like, well, they can't do another one because I'm beside myself now. And I could see them all check in every department. Yes.
She's boring me. So I guess the question is, will she come back for the anniversary special, like right after she regenerates? And I was giving it some thought, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. Dilla Gaff for $50. Because I just wanted to say I love you and I just want to say I love you and what you do, homie. From one ex-con in Texas, you have made me proud. I've struggled for years to fight. It's still ongoing. To find my way in the world, to actually be a good man and a good father. Stay strong, brother. Thanks, man. And you too. You too. It's that's part of the reason I talk about it so openly, and that comes from recovery, right? So speaker meetings are something I enjoy. Speaker meetings more than I enjoy like the little circle meetings. I like hearing other people's stories. You hear their experience, strength, and hope. And they go up, they tell their story, and you hear a little bit of your story and their story, no matter what they look like or where they're from. There's that commonality of addiction. And then, because they're sharing that story, it is specifically for the 1, 2, 3, or 10 newcomers that are in that room, people with under 30 days. It's just to show them, like, especially in the hardest part of it, like, hey, no, it gets better. It gets better. And it gets better in a decent amount of time. Now, 90 days might seem like forever to somebody who just got sober, but that time builds up fast. And within 90 days, if you stick with it, you start feeling a lot better. And you start seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. Now, the same goes for ex-cons. It's a stigma. It's a stigma that, depending on what you did, that stays with you the rest of your life. And when you're in my situation, when I did my stuff when I was in my very early 20s, as a matter of fact, I was doing time before I was old enough to drink. And when you get out, and it must be worse for somebody who's older, but at least I was young and I had time. But it didn't feel like it. When I got out, it felt like I'm fucked. I'm completely fucked. But then I just worked at it and I realized I wasn't. There was just certain things it wasn't gonna happen for me. Like I wasn't gonna get a government job, not gonna be able to own a gun, not gonna be able to vote for a while. Depending on how far away I was from my felony, there's certain countries I'm not gonna be allowed in. And that's just life. Now, but talking about it and thinking about it, again, it depends on what you do, right? Like violent criminal, that's one thing, but most people in there are not necessarily violent. Self-destructive, yeah, but they're not necessarily violent. There's a lot of just petty theft. There's a lot of drug stuff. That stuff needs to get worked out. The way they're releasing criminals now in California is idiotic, is absolutely idiotic because they are releasing like violent people, which they should not be. And they're releasing them based on, well, race. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, but hopefully, hey, whatever I can do to help, and I'm going to continue talking about it. And I'm totally okay. I'm totally comfortable with it. It's been so long. Yeah, I wish I had some of my rights back. I certainly want to have. I want to be able to carry a gun, especially in today's world. So I'm going to give it a shot. A couple of people sent emails. You guys are awesome to kind of show me how to do that, and I'm going to give it a shot. But best of luck to you. One day at a time. Okay. One day at a time. And if you're a good dad and you're there all the time, then you're a good man. And you're not going to be perfect. Progress, not perfection. No, you'll never see perfection from me. So forget that. Let's see. I'm gonna like poke through questions from last Friday. Oh shoot, my light's in the way again. Get that out of the way. Razorfish is my second favorite political commentator after Dave Smith. Would love to see those two chat. Says Ofer Nave for $10, and that was from last Friday. Absolutely. Razorfist was great last Friday. What a show. What a freaking show. I think it's really, let me check. I think it's close to 200,000. 196,000 views. That's nuts for Friday Night Tights. Absolutely nuts. You can see my Mauler and Rags right there. Plushies. They arrived. Hope you got yours. I have 2 extras to give away at the next meetup. 2 extras. Let's see. Let's go down here and see what you guys have to say. Oh, my Lord. That is a lot. Let's just go down. Okay. We got Daniel for $50. Daniel says, Happy Thanksgiving, Gary. The Ghostbusters movie shows why fatherhood is important. Both Egon's daughter and granddaughter are damaged by the absence of a father, and both end up cherishing his sacrifice and protection. Another reason they hate it. Yep. The only thing that I thought balanced things out in Ghostbusters, Daniel, was they showed the mom wasn't exactly on top of things. And hey, there's families where dads bail. That's just a fact. But there's a reason nature set things up this way. Whether you believe that this is a giant cosmic accident, which, I mean, you got to factor everything in. You got to factor absolutely everything in. This giant cosmic accident, this moon that's really bizarre and shouldn't exist, and our perfect, position around the sun, and the moon being exactly, from our perspective, the same size as the sun. And then you think about how life developed and everything else. What an accident. Wow. But nature set things up like the family structure. That wasn't a patriarchal concept. Dude went out and he hunted. Dude, expendable, because you can make more dudes. But then you have female who makes life sacred. Kind of cool stuff. Needs to be protected. Doesn't mean you can't go. We can't have female CEOs and presidents. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Thank you, Daniel. Man, reading that Marvel Green comic I talked about in the last live stream. Woo. See, that's that accumulative effect that I was talking about, that it's just the comic itself by itself in a vacuum, in isolation, whatever you want to say, is harmless. But when you compare that or conflate that or even add it to all the other shit that's going on, all the other, the message of dehumanization. All right. I was trying to get all the way down to the bottom here. There we go. Is Mahler here? Did I see Mahler? I'm actually looking at the chat. This will be a rarity. Let me check my messages. All right. Oh my God. I'm about halfway through my Hawkeye review. The first episode is all right. There's a good concept in there, like buried deep. There's a very good concept, but it's like the B story, and it's Hawkeye, the guy who should be a star, right? He is the guest star in his own show. There is a fight scene between the sweatshirt mafia, whatever, and Ronan, which is Kate Bishop, and she beats the shit out of them. Now they're goofy in the comic. They were goofy, and they always say bro and stuff in the comic book. But I mean, she takes a shot from a guy about a foot taller than her in the gut, and then right in the boob. And ladies, you can speak to this. She didn't have like Black Widow chest armor, by the way. She takes a shot right in the teat, just shakes it off. There's one guy, she lands like right like this, and the guy's holding her, and then he's holding her like this, and she takes her right arm around his head, and with her right arm, while that guy is standing up holding her, somehow flips him down on the ground and knocks him out. Again, he's about a foot taller than her. Now, Haley Stansfield isn't like short. She's 5'8", I think, 120, 130 pounds. But this guy is like, it's 6'2", 250. And I said it in my last live stream. Last time I got hit, I think part of the problem is, even with fight coordinators now in Hollywood, I think we're like second generation uh, where most people, and I mean vast majority in this country, have not been in a fight, like a good fight, not like a little slappy fight. I mean a fight. So they just don't know. And like when you get hit by somebody who weighs a lot, I mean, I don't care how many fucking black belts you got, you get hit by a 300-pound person, it's going to hurt a lot. And you don't just get right back up and go, let's do this. Okay, is that 3 supposed to be an E? Or is it A3 Gory St. Louis? STL? Happy Thanksgiving and carry on all. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Or, yeah, you guys and your clever names. I'm not clever enough to decipher them. I'll be honest with you. We got another one here. Tried to be civil with the normie wokes. Can't anymore. Why I started shameless plugging. Coming BMBLFX podcast. It's trash, but it's mine. And I say what I believe. Hey, dude, or lady, sorry. I do ladies. I do to my wife the other day. Good. The podcasts I started were trash, but they were mine and I enjoyed the hell out of them. I actually found an old one, like a real old one, that I'll play someday. It's 9 people in an echoey comic store talking about the Marvel sale to Disney. I actually found it. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. And thank you for choosing Nerdrotic tonight. I hope you're all thug life, yo. Hope you're all having. Oh, geez, the Grizzly for $200. Grizzly. Oops. It went soft on me. The Grizzly, thank you for the $200. Happy Thanksgiving, Gary. One of the one of those things you don't think about missing until you're forced to. I couldn't attend mine due to the bad flu. Hope yours went better. Hope you cherish those memories because you never know when you might miss out on making more. Hail and have a happy holidays. Hey, this Thanksgiving, I'm glad. Thank you, the Grizzly, by the way, for the $200. I'm glad I'm spending it with you. I am really missing my family today, so I'm just keeping myself busy. I usually am just sitting around and eating and not doing anything, so I'm a little out of sync today. It feels weird to work today. I can't go out and get any food or anything. I am just in the house making videos, doing live streams. But yeah, it's weird. It's totally weird, but Christmas will be brilliant. What's up, Culture? I can't believe you cut your hair, dude. What were you thinking? It was gold. I mean, I guess you can grow it back. Thank you, the Grizzly. Boobs. Don't know if you know this, Gary, but the Australian people are starting to fight back against the tyranny. Don't mess with us. All hail Jordy for 10 Australian dollars. That is good to hear. Because it's from our perspective. I mean, you're there, you see all your news. We only see the worst of the worst. So we see one of your premiers or whoever it was coming in and saying, you're just locked down. And you know what? All those excuses you had to get out of your lockdown, we took care of those for you. Now you don't. You're just locked down. What? And then, taking people to camps. Because that is, we're way past like being worried and And remember the 5th of November. Remember when Alex Jones got a bunch of shit? What? They're building FEMA camps. When Alex Jones starts to look like Nostradamus, we should all be extremely worried. I don't even think Alex Jones wanted to be right about his stuff. But I'm glad you're fighting back. Good. Because it is tyranny. It's tyranny. Last time I checked, and I don't mean to sound insensitive, I don't. All life is precious. We don't want anybody to pass. And people are certainly passing from COVID due to pre-existing, conditions and all kinds of other stuff. And we could have certainly handled it much better in this country. Both sides, everybody. But it's not the Spanish flu. Okay. And now we're seeing like real repercussions. I told the story in the last live stream. I went to the grocery store to get some food for today. Glad I did. It was half empty. What's up, George Peter Gatus? Merry Thanksgiving and Happy New Day to you too. Thank you for the 2 Canadian pesos. So where was I? Hawkeye. How many of you guys have seen Hawkeye? And gals? How many have you seen Hawkeye? There's not a whole lot to spoil because after 2 episodes, you don't really know what's going on other than the Ronin costume, which you all saw in the trailer, right? The Ronin costume. Kate Bishop was in the Ronin costume and it got on the news. Ronin's got a bad rep. Clint has to deal with this mess. He's in New York to watch the Rogers musical with his family, but mom stayed back. The series focuses completely on Kate Bishop. I mean, we get to see her little origin as a kid, right? The Battle of New York, and then it goes into the credits, and the credits show all of her training montages. And then by the time it starts, aside from being like overconfident, which she was in the comic books, she's pretty skilled. She's not like Mary Sue, but what they do is they have her make a mistake and then she recovers and does it freaking amazingly, or she gets lucky or something. Haley Stanfield is Stanfield. I don't even know how you say her last name. She's charming enough. I think the acting is much better in this than in any other. But it just drags. I don't know what's going on. I know the comic. I know what it looks like they're going to make. This is just speculation on my part, by the way. Looks like they're going to make the mom the bad guy. It's not hard to figure out at this point. The swordsman is in it, by the way. The swordsman who had this. He has like a black costume with a skull and like a sword hand. So the swordsman is in it. Echo is in it at the end, which is going to be a very difficult hero or villain to pull off. And they're going to do an entire show on her. So what's Echo? Echo is like the Taskmaster meets Bullseye, except it's a woman. I'm forgetting the artist now. What is the artist's name? The guy who did all of the Daredevil covers for Bendis's run. David Mack. Echo looked like Gina Gershon. Like he gave her Gina Gershon's face. And in comic books, it worked. But in the comic books, Echo beats up Daredevil. I believe that's I can't remember which run that is. Had a little trouble buying that. God, Daredevil's such a good character. I'm glad I stopped reading it when I did. Daredevil had a real, you know what? I like Bendis's Daredevil run. I didn't hate it. I thought Brubaker's was really good. But Echo is a character basically like the Taskmaster. She can echo your moves, copy your fighting style. But there's copying fighting style, and then there's being strong. There's being strong, which they just kind of, and these are the kind of things like in a two-dimensional comic book, it's workable. Like you can believe it because you can fill in the blanks because you're not seeing things in motion. So a lot is left to your imagination, and you just make it work, or you don't. I don't know. It's hard. They don't pull it off. The fight choreography in this is not very good. It's not very good. So whenever the series takes a couple steps forward, like there's a charming scene between Jeremy Renner and Haley. It takes two steps back when like the action starts, and there's not a lot. They focus on Clint a little more in the second episode, but not as much. He's missing Christmas, by the way. So he sends his family home and he has to clean up this Ronin mess. And there's one scene where he has to go get the costume back and he goes to a fucking Ren fair. And the whole scene is just, it was just there because basically Clint's not feeling that good about being an Avenger. He just did what he did. He did it because he felt like it was the right thing, but he doesn't think he's an inspiration. So this is a whole thing where they're trying to build him up so he feels better about being a hero. They even mention in the show like his branding wasn't good. Well, that was Marvel's fault. They never gave him like a costume, like a proper costume like he had in the comic books or a variation of it. So he's going to end up getting his costume from Kate Bishop, which just irritates me. That's that. If people go, what's MCU? That's MCU. That is MCU. When at this point you're just apologetic for your white male characters, instead of them, let's just let them be characters, and you can interact with other characters and new characters. You're apologetic for your male characters. And yes, I'm going to point this out because that's exactly what they're doing. That's one of those things where you all know it's happening. Some people want to acknowledge it, some people don't. I don't care. But you're significantly changing storylines and origins, like the Ancient One being a freaking European woman. What? Oh, Hela. Thor doesn't directly fight her at the end. You know, that's all of Captain Marvel. Letting Wanda go at the end of WandaVision. You have no idea. They have no idea what you sacrificed. That's MCU. Monica Rambeau's mom building sword by herself. You know, I just see her with their like her little tool belt building the entire thing. That's MCU. It's just going to ridiculous lengths to try to elevate the female characters instead of just doing it through writing and making them likable. And that's why people don't like them. And they because you know what? When people cut through the bullshit, or people don't want to deal with the bullshit, and they really don't like to be called out for something that's obviously there. Like there is no structure to the character of Captain Marvel. That's why I call it the hero's journey. The hero's journey is she starts out amazing. She questions how amazing she is. Then a bunch of people realize she's amazing. And then at the end, she is reconfirmed how amazing she is. The hero's journey. Or in Captain Marvel's case, she becomes more amazing because some of her amazingness was being dampered by the patriarchal male amazingness damper that's on her neck. Oh. But as far as like cringy characters go, Kate Bishop is terrible in the comic books now, thanks to the insufferable writing of modern Marvel writers. But at least Haley Stansfeld she's not insufferable. It's just the situations are dumb. There's a Deus Ex dog in this. They're looking for a watch. So the MacGuffin's a watch, essentially. But we're 2 episodes in. Clint and Kate Bishop are caught. Clint meant to get caught. Then Kate Bishop goes to save him. She screws up. Now they're both caught. And they ended with Echo wants them both alive. And there's this like ominous scene where Echo's there. And we're supposed to be all, ooh, it's Echo. And I'm just like, okay. She's going to come out and kick the shit out of Clint. Probably. I bet that's my guess. Happy Thanksgiving. I created a PT villain on an earlier stream with Dr. Money Shot and the Nutbusters, working on a backstory and concept for the art for the BBC. Can't wait to share it with you. Brilliant, JB24. Thank you for the $13.99 Canadian. Dr. Money Shot. I'm afraid to ask. I am afraid to ask. Shakalaka King says the title of Hawkeye is likely not misleading. By the time the show ends, Kate Bishop shall be Hawkeye. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. I mean, instead of making her a sidekick and giving her her own name, they just wanted to make her Hawkeye. Now, what are the reasons for that? Well, there could be multiple reasons. I think they did want to have a female derivative character, which they have 2 of basically now in the comic books. And it might be rights issues. But think about it. Now they found a way to avoid it in, when I was a kid and he had, Hawkeye and Green Arrow had like trick arrows. But as things got more sophisticated, even with the longbow hunters, like they were killing people, like arrows, like kill people, like horribly, violently. We're not going to see that in a Disney Plus series. We're not going to see Daredevil season 1 and season 2, which in my humble opinion, I believe are the best 2 things live action Marvel has produced ever out of anything, including the MCU. You can't get anywhere near that. I just watched Daredevil, and the difference between that and this is night and day. This is a fun little cutesy bootsy story with Hawkeye guest starring in it. It is the Kate Bishop Show. Maybe Marvel will remake Daredevil with Helen Keller origin story, replacing the Matt Murdock origin. Yeah. Well, isn't Elektra is Daredevil now, right? Or she was in the comic books. I'm not reading them, and I was reaffirmed to that when I read X-Men Green. Have you heard of James Acaster? He's a British stand-up. He'd be brilliant doctor in a perfect world. He'd finally get to be a ginger as well. I have not. I'll look at the name. I'll look him up. James Acaster. Yeah. I've seen him in something before. Doctor has to be a dude. What's up, Jake D? The doctor has to be a dude. I suppose we'll find out soon. I mean, I can't imagine them waiting much longer. They'll probably announce it early next year. They announced, when did they announce Capaldi? It was, when did they announce Jody? Because they announced Capaldi in August of 2013, right? And they announced Jody in July, I believe, of 2017. So yeah, maybe we have a long wait ahead. Maybe they wait till next summer. But I heard that production was going ahead. We will find out. Jack White from the White Stripes. $100. Says, I had a conversation with my boomer father last night. Ended up getting on the subject of the violence and riots last year, just talking about the rise in left-wing violence. And my father brought up January motherfucking 6th, and he called it an insurrection. I wanted to slap him for saying that. Yeah. Okay. And thank you, Jack White, for the $100. I got a question. We talked about January 6th. The doors were open. People were let in. It overall wasn't a very smart move. People should have figured out that if they're being let in, this might be a bit of a setup, something that's tailor-made for the media to roll out. That being said, I do believe the only person that lost their life was a young lady at the hands of a cop. And then we go to Minnesota, just one city, where the police abandoned the police station and let it burn down. Months of riots. And to just jump back to January 6th, and the fact that your dad said, I don't want to disrespect your dad. He's consuming way too much mainstream media. That's it. That's it. That's all. The writing was horrific. It was being used. They used whatever peaceful protests were starting, they turned into violent riots in most cities, causing billions of dollars of damage and it causing a system to be reset. A lot of those businesses did not rebuild because they couldn't. They were underinsured. By the way, the New York Times buried that story. Buried the story. Thank you again, Jack White. I appreciate it. Oh my God. You just got to I think mainstream media took it on the chin over this last week. And I think that's why so many people were happy, because it looked like legitimately they were able to influence a lot of stuff, and they had no influence over that fucking trial. And they lost their effing ever-loving minds. What is the background of the She-Hulk? Does she get angry like her cousin Bruce, or does she turn into She-Hulk when she gets turned on? Wink, wink. It's emotional. I know that. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, Mark Martin, for the $5. Barvello 26 for $5. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. I appreciate it. What's this? Don't cut your hair. Hair is sacred. Culture. You've been called out. Let me give me just a moment. Happy Thanksgiving, Quarter Black Garrett, and to John F. Trent. from Bounding into Comics. I hope they're doing good. So yeah, I'm in the middle of my Hawkeye review, and the first, after watching it again, the second episode is terrible. It's terrible. It's just, it doesn't. I'm like, I don't. Am I supposed to be invested in a story here? Because I don't know. I don't care about a watch. The only thing that I thought was funny. Well, I mean, there's a dog. There's like a one-eyed dog. I like the one-eyed dog. But they break into a black market convention, the sweat suit gang or whatever, and they announce what they're going to steal. And they go, we have 90 seconds to find the watch. Everything else is incidental. Find the watch. Then everybody's all, we need to find the watch. Where's the watch? We got to go find the watch. But they showed a scene before that where they're all getting together right before they go and rob it. And they blew up a wall, but they were already in the building. So I don't know why they blew up the wall when they were just one door down in the building, and they could have just gone out the door with their guns because nobody else was armed. By the way, Hawkeye's retractable sword as Ronin got stolen by the swordsman. So I'm sure that'll come into play later. The swordsman is played terribly. I don't know who the actor is, but he's like mom's boyfriend, and you can tell like he's duplicitous, scummy boyfriend, but he's just played on the nose that way. There's no subtlety to it, and it's cartoonish. It's totally cartoonish. He cut it. You want a link, Quarter Black? You want a link, homie? Let me know. Text me. Tomorrow, let's see this. Tomorrow will be my first year anniversary for supporting you as a regular and learning about Friday Night Tights and even discovering the Snyder Cut. Talk to you soon. Mika P for $5. Excellent. Now, and I was never like hardcore team Snyder Cut because I mean, I just had a very like, I figured it's harmless. Why would somebody not want to see a director's vision? But there was a lot of, I think it was just bullshit vitriol over that. Just absolute bullshit. But man, it got salty online about the Snyder Cut. And I think like most of it was, there was a bunch of nerd quote unquote YouTubers who just came out and said it didn't exist and they had to save face for a year. When I mean, all you had to say was, wow, I didn't know it existed. Okay. I made a mistake. Boom. Problem solved. But instead, they spend a year spinning their wheels and trying to save face when, like, dude, just admit the movie. And then they kept on saying, well, it didn't technically exist because he said he only has 3/4 shot. It's like, dude, what they were talking about existed. Not everybody liked it. Some people don't like Snyder's vision. They don't like his movies. I don't particularly like his vision of Superman. I see it more as an Elseworlds. I think Henry Cavill's a great Superman, and with a good writer and director, I think it would be magnificent. I don't know if that can happen in this day and age. But I like the Snyder Cut. I've watched it many times. I don't like Ezra Miller as Flash, but I think you got as good as what you're going to get out of him. But I like Ben Affleck. I like Gal Gadot in that movie. And I like Henry Cavill. I was fine with it. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. But it's not for everybody. And I think it's pretty dead at this point. Maybe we'll get an air cut, but I could be wrong. And they could bring it back because the Blu-ray did sell spectacularly. What I don't want, Daredevil and Marvel. Just leave it alone. I think that was one of those lightning in a bottle things that they're just never going to recapture. I don't want Netflix taking it on either. But man, I like his costume. Mr. Z, welcome to the memberships. I appreciate it. I wish our heroes and superheroes were taken seriously. Disney is a joke, my man. Hail to you and the fellowship, says Sonora Baptiste for $5. That's the weird thing about Hawkeye is they are showing the character reverence, but it's only because they're focusing on Kate Bishop. And I know the Kate Bishop simps out there. And they're out there. This is what Marvel calls a feminist character. It was a feminist comic book. So, in other words, not for me. Which new show is worse, Hawkeye or Cowboy Bebop? I haven't seen Cowboy Bebop. I know nothing about Cowboy Bebop. I would say probably Cowboy Bebop's what I've heard is worse. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in on a weekly series. So I fully expect it to go downhill because this is Disney Marvel, and that's what they've done with all of their series. They have a series problem. And it's maybe it's their approach. They don't use showrunners. Kevin Feige is just coordinating everything. And if you wanted just to make a Kate Bishop show, make a Kate Bishop show. But give Hawkeye his due because he's completely underdeveloped. Now, he might be sticking around. I don't know. Or they kill him at the end. And I think the new Black Widow is going to show up too. Oh, isn't that great? It'll be like 50 women in Hawkeye. Structurally, though, it does feel a bit like a Netflix series, but not the Daredevil Netflix series, the other bad ones like Iron Fist. Finally caught you live. I really don't miss anything you put out, but the funny parts is I still have no idea about the first or of Doctor Who, and I still have you near the top channels in my humble opinion. Keep it up. Happy Thanksgiving. I still have you as one of the top channels in my humble opinion. So thank you. Keep it up. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir, and happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you for the $99.99, Mr. Z. Thank you. It's fun. It's fun. You know, and when I go into Hawkeye, it's not, I like Jeremy Renner as an actor a lot. And conceptually, if you did like a Die Hard Hawkeye, okay, I'm into that. But the key word here is it's not coined, but Robert Meyer Burnett brought it into our sphere, is verisimilitude, which is basically how much you're buying into this. Like, how real does this look? Like, does this look authentic? Does this look like they're taking it seriously? And the answer is no. No. They have a bunch of guys calling cute little Haley Stansfield a dude just because she's got the Ronin costume on. So automatically, we're supposed to just confuse a guy with cute little Haley Stansfield and her eyeliner. You can tell from a mile away, that's a girl. That's a girl. But they're trying to really push this thing as, there's really no difference between guys and girls. You couldn't really tell. Hey, bro. Hey, dude. It's like, see the eyelashes and the eyeliner that are on there? Yeah, a guy could be wearing. See the feminine features? See the boobs? See the hips? See, that's where verisimilitude dies. I can't suspend my belief that much, and neither can most people. no matter how much Hollywood wants to make it so. It's a beautiful effing day. Kyle is free, says 831 red for $20. That's from last Friday. Thank you. M Tax Shark for $10 says this is for the best. This is for the best white pill show on the internet. Hail, put this towards a spa day for Az to enjoy and relax. I will. I can't wait to get Az out here. I don't know if Quarter Black caught my invitation for a link. Maybe I should just send it. But I can't wait to get him out here. Him and Mahler and Drinker. I think we need to get them all out to the States. Oh. No, where did you get this? Az. I'm going to see if I can save this image. It might be too big. That's what she said. Yeah, it's too big. Yeah, he got a 1/6 scale Kingpin. It's fucking awesome. Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. I'm going to show this to you. Share screen. That's awesome. I'd prefer the white suit. I think you can get a white suit, but I'm okay with the black suit too. That is a proper Kingpin. That is brilliant. I think Vincent D'Onofrio is great. I'm going to hate to see him in this show, though, because he'll probably have some female boss or something. It'll just, you can't have like two male, like a male bad guy and a male good guy like go at each other anymore. It's so weird. It's so fucking weird what they're doing. And they just think, oh, it's going to roll on as well as it did. And for every Marvel stan out there telling me how great Disney Plus is, the subscribers are flatlining. No, fucking 4 Marvel shows, and you didn't get a bump for months. Why? Well, okay. Streaming services are getting way too expensive now. We are way beyond cable prices. If you get Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and the freaking Paramount Plus, you're paying a couple $100 a month now. And if you get live TV, it's like $300 a month. So that's a modern cable bill. Now, you know what? You know what's cheaper? A la carte. Like, honestly, going to, if it's available, going to Amazon Prime and just buying an episode or renting a movie, that's going to be cheaper. That's going to be cheaper than anything else. Just watch your shows a la carte. Don't subscribe to networks. Just like, hey, this show interests me. I'll get this show. I mean, if you're into the sports ball and all that, that's fine. I'm not. It saves me a lot of time. It saves me a lot of time. There is something, a UK population in 1989 is 47. Oh, I just lost that. Where'd it go? It just disappeared. How the fuck did that happen? I'll get back to that one, okay? Sorry. It disappeared. Yeah, okay, here it is. Okay. UK population in 1989. By the way, that's a great picture of the third Doctor. Look at that. In 1989, 47 million. Seventh Doctor, 4 million views. 2021, 67 million. Dr. Karen, 4 million views. The math says 2021, Doctor Who worst ratings when looking at population percentage. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the worst ratings in the show's history belong to the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. Shows on a Sunday. Face of Bo Andrew for 5 Canadian pesos. You are not alone. Thankful for you, thankful for the fellowship, thankful for the drive to keep going, thankful to have found an audience, thankful to be alive. Hail, and that's Brightest Day. What's up, man? How's it going? Yes. Well done, sir. Well done. And it was great meeting you at the meetup, dude. And Brightest Day was in the video. I'm sorry I played a Friday Night Tights theme before this, but I just freaking love that song. I play it in the gym. Dan Vask is the man. I'm trying to see. I'll just send it to him. Screw it. He's probably with his family. I'm not going to send him a link. He should spend time with his family. Movies were great in the 80s and in the 90s. Not sure what happened in the late 2000s. I would say 2020s. I still liked movies. I was still enjoying the hell out of them up until about 5 or 6 years ago. So something definitively changed Viper Chief 117. And it was the Orange Man. And but it was creeping in before that. It was just accelerated, hyper accelerated. But the overall quality of writing, I mean, we can even take woke out of the equation, is gone downhill. But you can't take woke out of the equation because it's why a lot of it is bad. Some of it is garden variety bad. It's just bad because the people aren't talented. Then there's talented people writing terrible stuff because their ideology is just getting in the way, and they feel like they need to put it in absolutely everything. And then, as we criticize, this is just how I see the world. This is how you see the world. Some people might not see it that way. That's fine. That's fine. I think they'd be wrong and they're not paying attention enough, but that's our job, is to kind of shepherd them over. What we do, some people call dangerous. The Thanksgiving live streams, talking about, the stuff we love, why we loved it, talking about the stuff that I don't like and telling you exactly why I don't like it. That has become dangerous. You know what it is? It's extremely dangerous to go up against the narrative, to go up against the status quo. That scares the shit out of people. NWO police nope, says get a cracked fire stick. It's kind of a weird thing I go through. NWO police, nope. Because I don't want to steal. I mean, everybody's downloaded stuff from torrents, but I just don't want to do that. But I also don't want to give Disney and a lot of people money, so I try not to in almost every way I can, including not buying new comics anymore, which is, I mean, it's hard to explain it. I mean, it's something I've done my entire life, and I stopped a year and a half ago. And it was because of Marvel. Inakbamon for $20 says, I generally believe that Jeremy Renner did the show in order to help pay off the bills for his divorce. He loves the role too much to wreck it. He refuses to do this show for 2+ years. He then signed on a week after the divorce. I think you can see his influence in this. Like Hawkeye hasn't been deconstructed per se. I haven't seen that yet. Like what they did to Loki. Like Loki gets punched by a effing time cop when Loki can take a punch. I mean, from the Hulk. That's fucking MCU. Like this one, they've showed the character enough respect, I think. It's just the dialogue is bad. And I don't exactly know what I'm supposed to, what the big, there's no big hook in it other than there's this really fabulous cutesy bootsy Kate Bishop girl. Go Kate. Oh my God. Who's fine. But not anybody I'm gonna like take seriously as a superhero. And yeah, I think the women need to work out just as much as the dudes, and they don't. Haley Stansfield is in shape. She's in shape. She doesn't look like she can take on 7 freaking yoked up dudes. Rude Dude Review says, going to San Diego Comic-Con special edition this weekend, as am I. So much to be thankful for. Gary, will I see you there? And will you sign something for me? Lots of love. Hail. Yeah, I'd be happy to, of course. I'll be there Saturday. I got to go get my my rapid COVID test for fucking $200 to go. But then we got to wear masks in there too. So I'm not going to be spending a whole lot of time there. I'll go there for a couple hours. I'll hang out outside more where I don't have to wear a mask. But I'm bringing my list. I'm checking it twice. I'm going to go get some back issues. That's right. Some back issues. See if I can cut some deals too. See if I can go get a Marvel key or two. Although I just got a collection of something. I did. Oh, and another thing Hawkeye has is talking to dog exposition. That's right. Kate Bishop is talking to the dog and going over her plan. So the viewer need, and this is analytics. This is marketing. This is somebody giving notes on a series going, we need to repeat what she suspects again, because they might have missed it the first time. So Armand is played by the guy who plays, he's in Doctor Who. God, I'm forgetting it now. The Christmas episode for season 1, The Unquiet Dead, which I consider the Christmas episode for 1. Oh my God, I'm having the worst fucking internet brain fart now. I hate this. I hate Charles Dickens. I mean, I know who Charles Dickens is. A Christmas Carol is one of my favorite all-time stories. I love there's like 60 versions of it, and I like 50 of them. And I'll watch them again and again and again. But Simon Cowell is in it briefly. He's a fucking great actor. He was in 4 Weddings and a Funeral and all kinds of shit. But he played Charles Dickens in The Unquiet Dead, the only Mark Gatiss episode I truly love. And I consider it the Ninth Doctor's Christmas special. And so should you. He's in it. He plays Armand, Hang on. Let's just get the Hawkeye IMDb up. Doop doop bump bump ba-dump bump bump boop bump. Oh, I got an MCU picture to show you. Where's Simon Cowell? Did they leave him out of this one? Kazi's in this too. He's supposed to be kind of a Joker-ish character from Daredevil. Yeah, they have Yelena Boleva. I don't know. I mean, anybody can enter this ship, but she's in this. Where is Simon Cowell? Whatever. He plays the swordsman's uncle. All right. And he threatens Kate Bishop's mom. She overhears it. So she goes, Kate Bishop goes to the mom and goes, is that guy threatening you? Is Armand threatening you? And the mom goes, I don't know. Now we know the mom's up to something. So a couple of minutes later, Kate goes back to her apartment, and then she tells the dog that Armand was threatening her mom, and maybe that's behind all the trouble. So it's dog exposition. And I'll put the clip in my video. I'm also going to put the clips of the more cringe fighting scenes. Now, what they needed to do more of that worked was Kate Bishop fought with like some wine bottles. There's a wine rack, and you need to show off like the skills that can help her fight things off that she can't with brute strength. But they decide to go with brute strength instead of her like being essentially bullseye, throwing shit at people and using her marksmanship. That works. And she does it a couple of times. But no, most of the time she's like mano-y-mano going at people. And it's like, what the fuck? And for one, they don't do that enough with Hawkeye either. But if we go to a MCU picture. Oh, what? No. No, that was a video. That was not a picture. Oh, it's okay. So you guys, oh, there it is right there. Oh, now it links me to fucking, I don't want to, I don't want to go to Disney Plus. I wanted the picture. Oh, they certainly changed it for that one. There we go. So remember the Wasp and Ant-Man picture? This is positioned the same way. And people go, what MCU? It wasn't important. You know what? I didn't need purple as much as I needed him to have his mask, which I would have liked a lot more. And yeah, that's the cute little Haley Stansfeld who was beating the shit out of 300-pound Russian guys. Totally believable. Totally believable. Oh, but that's enough of Hawkeye. Let's God, I really don't want to talk about Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery was just bad. There's a thing called an anomaly. It's destroying the entire universe, and I hope it fucking wins. That's it. I'll do a review later, but oh my God. Yeah, the news has been kind of quiet because it's Thanksgiving and it's nice. It's nice to be heading into the holiday season to where, I mean, it's not perfect out there. And I don't know, depending on where you are, what the mandates are. For instance, like here in like to go to a Comic-Con, I have to get a test and wear a mask this weekend, but at least people can go out and go shopping. And well, it's not going to stop the thieves who are going to be out in force. It's going to be nuts. I think there's going to be a lot of Black Friday shopping. You know what I mean? And that sucks because that's only going to help Amazon. This is from Billy Masterson for $5 on Friday. He says, Razor Fist, at least they don't mess up Bosch as hard as Man in the High Castle. Yeah. Man in the High Castle was effing bad. What they did to that. That's too bad. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Don't want to do that. Okay. Shelly Roberts for $3 says, can't one of you create a job for Az so he can move over here legally? He's obviously in the wrong country. Yeah, I mean, I could. I actually could. It's a possibility if he wants it. But I can create a position for him at Nerdrotic that would get him a visa to get him out here. Got all kinds of fun stuff coming up. And let me go over to this. Oh, I'm starting to get hungry. That like burrito was not enough. I wonder what we got. I think we got like fucking corn dogs or something like that. That's about it. I think I can make a corn dog and a smoothie, maybe and some pickles. think that's going to be my Thanksgiving meal. Bradley Burnett for $25. Thank you on the donation side. Says my normie girlfriend and I got into a talk about Kate's combat ability. She said Kate had no powers like Hawkeye, but was a black belt. I said, true, but Hawkeye was trained by S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and he's been trained. Well, he's also fought and killed. Kate trained to fight Daniel LaRusso. Serenity now. Yeah. Being a black belt is awesome in competition. It'll definitely teach you some skills, and depending on how big of a person you are, I won't even say dude or woman. I'll just say person. Yeah, it can be great. It's supposed to be defense, right? But when you're in a scrap, it really depends on the situation because a black belt can account for exactly dick. And in some situations, it can really help. It just depends on the individual situation. Black belt's not going to help you a lot, like in a prison cell in a 10x10 when you're up against like a 355-pound guy. It just ain't. Having a black belt is good, but having training, going up against Loki and the Chitauri and Thanos and Ultron. Yeah. Budapest, but we don't know shit about Budapest. That's what Black Widow should have been. Bradley Burnett for $50. Thank you. So watched the Kate Bishop show last night, since I actually read comics and I knew who Jack Ducan's, I can't even pronounce his last name. It's Ducan. Jack Ducan, who is the swordsman, is supposed to be. All I thought was, damn, what a waste. Show Hawkeye is his and his past with the swordsman could have been great, but Kate is the bestest ever. Yes, the swordsman is a mentor to Clint. Clint started out as a villain. Clint's got an amazing history and an extensive history in Marvel that they just, especially giving him a family, that was like out of fucking left field, man. I did not see that one coming. I'm like, what? Because Clint was like the one we thought Hawkeye would die. We always pegged Hawkeye to die because Hawkeye dies in the comic books. He comes back, but he dies. It's a big mystery who Ronan was for a long, long time. Bradley Burnett for $100 says, $100, by the way. Bradley, damn it. That's on the donation side. Late to the stream after turkey dinner. In the spirit of the day, I am thankful that I found the channel after the fall of Skywalker because it led me to a whole bunch of great channels, honest commentary, great entertainment, and great needed humor. Thank you. I'm grateful you found us, and I am grateful for all of you. I was going to save a lot of that to the end, but we'll talk a little bit about it now. I am grateful for this channel turned out to be such a godsend. So whatever happened, however it happened, I mean, I was here, so I saw like what took off and I can guess why. But what I'll never know is why me. Like I'll never know that. And it's fine. I don't need to know. If I start to question it and figure it out too much, it'll probably be disappointing. But to be honest with you, it was like winning the lottery that I worked really fucking hard for and didn't realize I was working that hard for it. Like my wife had to remind me like how much time I was actually spending on this thing, like before it took off. Because it started out just a little. It started out when I was in the sober living environment. So I was sober for like 2 days when I did my first podcast for Nerdrotic, and in a Starbucks coffee shop in West Portal in San Francisco in early January 2014, right? It was 2014. And we talked about Arrow and said, man, this is the future of superhero storytelling. It's really good. Like this show. It's first season. Give me a break. Little did I know. And I think we talked about like Batman and Superman too. And a guy bought our coffee for us. It was pretty cool. But I had this like vision rolling around in my head for a long, long time. I didn't see it exactly being this, but whatever. It took off, and it's thanks to you guys. And I've made a lot of good friends along the way. It's been quite the journey. And I can never express how grateful I am for you guys. Never. It's been the ride of a lifetime. This is the best gig I've ever had. I hope to do it forever, but understanding what YouTube is, I know there's an expiration date on this, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. And if it ends tomorrow, it was completely worth it. And as my wife and I, she used the term semi-retirement. Well, she's in semi-retirement. I'm not yet, but yeah, if it wasn't for this channel, we'd be fucked. We'd be totally fucked. And this channel was never, ever supposed to be what pays the bills at our household, or the majority of them, or all of them. And it worked out that way. And it's not like the way we wanted it to work out, but here I am about 2 months away. Oh, now actually a month away from moving. We got a house, and we're getting the hell out of California, and we're getting out of California for what is basically ideological reasons, political reasons. I'm like a fucking an expatriate from California, I guess, an ex-Californian, because I can't stand how this state is run. I could easily stay. I could just live in San Diego. Be no problem. Except I'd be living in California, and I'd be under California rules, and I'm seeing where things are going, and they're not getting better. And I don't think it's worth the fight here. I'd rather go someplace where the air is a little freer. and you don't have dipshits like Howard Stern's in New York, but there's a lot of people in LA. I was like, fuck your freedom. Fuck your freedom. What do you need freedom for? You could just stay home and watch our Disney Plus series. Why do you think Disney wants? Of course, Disney wants us fucking staying home. They want us fat and stupid and watching their dumb shit. And so does big tech, too. Tacky for $10 says, Happy Thanksgiving, Gary, and thanks for all the entertainment you provided us. Have you ever read Frank Miller's RoboCop? And if so, what did you think? It was, if not, it's worth checking out as a RoboCop fan. Hail all, let's go, Brandon. I have, and I liked it quite a bit. I remember when it came out. I have read Frank Miller's RoboCop, and I liked RoboCop 2. I did. It's not as good as RoboCop 1, but I liked it. Behave yourself. Malachi 63 for $20 says, Happy Thanksgiving, Gary. Thank you for the stream today. I used to manage a Japanese restaurant in Walnut Creek, and one of my super friendly regulars was Art Adams. Any books you recommend if I want to get some of his better artwork? Fantastic Four, right? He draws a good thing. What was his run? So here's the Epic Fantastic Four collection. What volume? I can't tell you what volume. He did some good work on Fantastic Four. I'll have to look up that volume though. That's what I recommend. I like how he draws the thing. Polaris Sucks for 263. Happy Thanksgiving, Gary. Asked you about the wrong show yesterday. Would you love to see an Exozone maybe someday? Someday. Once I get moved and I figure out like what kind of extra time I have, because I'm bringing on somebody to allow that will allow me to do a lot more recording, which editing takes up 90% of my time. Like the recording of the videos, I get done in a couple, 3 hours, and then I fuck around editing for 2 or 3 days. So if I can get that eased off a little bit, then it frees me up to do more live streaming and committing to more stuff. I am right now committed to everything I can commit to. And honestly, it's the Nerdrotic Nooner that suffered the most. That's what I end up canceling the most. And I can't do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm good with Real BBC. We rotate that between my channel and Az's channel with Mahler. And of course, Friday Night Tights. Occasionally I'd like to jump on to Tuesday night's main event because Jeremy, is stuck with Friday Night Tights for so long. But that's 2 shows on Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see. And then there's hanging out with my family. But yeah, I wish YouTube was kinder to that stuff like it used to be. Remember, YouTube used to like UFOs and stuff like that. Dan Vask for 50 Brazilian pesos says, Happy Thanksgiving, Gary and chat. Been watching the first season of the 1957 Zorro, produced by Walt Disney himself. Well-defined heroes and villains, awesome sword fighting, and cool lessons on freedom versus dictatorship. I definitely recommend it, and I fucking love Zorro. Absolutely love Zorro. And I remember that show. I was watching that show as a kid all the time on Saturday. Enoch Maman for $25 says, I just got back from Thanksgiving. There was great food and we all had stories to share. It was 4 hours of family bonding. Then my brother insisted on arguing about January 6th. We fought for an hour, then left. Talk about us leaving on a low note. I just had to vent. Yeah. We just had the tragedy in Wisconsin, right? Where the media will just not say that it was a black guy who killed a bunch of white people because he was angry about Rittenhouse or whatever. mostly because the media has been stirring up division. And by the way, I'm looking at you, Hollywood, too. You stirred up this division, too. You, in tandem with the media, is stirring up all of this division. We saw a lot of it last year in the rioting, and you are responsible for what happened a couple of days ago in Wisconsin, too. You own a piece of that. You do, because you are sowing the seeds of hate out there by pushing in dishonest shit. You're lying. You're fucking lying. And just because you're being backed up by big money and big corps doesn't make anything you fucking say true. So we see something like that. What do we hear next? January 6th. There's 150 fucking container ships. We have supply chain problems. January 6th. Inflation's going through the roof because we printed too much money. January 6th. People were falling off effing jets or giant planes to get the hell out of Afghanistan, to get to this country for liberty. January 6th. We abandoned people, allies, friends in Afghanistan to die horrible death. January 6th. Kamala Harris has a 9%, I'm over exaggerating, 10% approval rating. January 6th. That's all they do. That's all you got. And you know what? At least it replaced the tiki torches from South Carolina, because that's what it was before that. That was the one thing they were hanging their hats on. Again, January 6th was fucking LARPing compared to actually burning shit down and people, their lives being ruined, people dying, people being executed for their political beliefs. Yeah, big difference. And you hear, oh my God, you hear people using that unironically, calling people insurrectionists or supporters of insurrectionists. And by the way, me calling that out obviously makes me a conservative, by the way. So the Antifa little punks who called me out, who were supportive of burning down. I mean, is Portland still on fire? I mean, I don't care, but is it still on fire? Incognitus Jones for $5 says, had a bypass, comrade. I had to bypass comrade Mama Susan to give you a proper happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all you do and the Friday Night Tights crew. I am thankful for what you and the Friday Night Tights crew have done to our turning a community into a fellowship. Hail. That's good. Thank you, Incognitus Jones. That's right. We've turned a community into a fellowship. There's a big difference. One isn't a commie phrase, and one is. I know some people are used to using that term, but that is their term. We need to drop that. WG for $50. Thank you. Says, hail, Gary, on behalf of the President of the United States, I'd like to wish you a very happy and merry Easterween. All kidding aside, keep up the great work, and all the best to those out there, and those who are here in the chat. And happy Thanksgiving to you, WG. I appreciate it. Happy Easterween. I don't know if Kyle Dunnigan's done another short with Biden. Deadly Penguin 7 on the donation side for $50. I appreciate it. Just wanted to give some thanks to one of my favorite content creators and the rest of the Friday Night Tights crew. Keep providing so much needed good content. Hail the fellowship. Hail the fellowship. Thank you very much, Deadly Penguin 7 for $50. A little more applause there. Tracy Wilborn for $5 says, you're home alone? Oh, dude, it just went down again. Have you set up your wacky traps for the burglars? No, I should. I've actually been watching. I woke up, I watched Hawkeye, the first 2 episodes, and then I watched Star Trek Discovery. Then I banged my head against the wall a couple times, went to the gym, came back, watched Girl in the Fireplace, started my Hawkeye review, and then I'm like, shit, I said I would live stream today, and I want to live stream today, so I'm live streaming today. And I can go for a little while more. But I do have to finish that video because we got a big show tomorrow. And thank you for the $5. Jester of Roanoke for $1. Happy Thanksgiving to you and all the Friday Night Tides Fellowship. And happy Thanksgiving to you, Jester of Roanoke. I appreciate it. And here we go. This works better. Going down to the new comments here. Oh, what's up? Master of the TDS. Hello, Gary. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for streaming. Really need the distraction right now. Thanks for all you do for the community fellowship as well. Absolutely, my friend. You're tearing it up on Twitter all the time. And he did the woke bingo card, which I like, and he made t-shirts, and I thought that was great. And I met him at the meetup. You and your okay, forgive me. Is it wife? Is it wife or girlfriend? I can't remember. Freaking adorable couple they made. An adorable couple. 21 Palika. Thank you for the thumbs up super sticker for 150 Martian pesos. I do not recognize that denomination, but that's okay. Till RR1, $5 says, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and happy Thanksgiving to you. There we go. We got Jack White. How far have you gotten in One Piece, by the way? Not far. I started reading it out of order. So I think I picked up like volume 7 or something, and I don't know what's going on, but it's it's growing on me. Okay. It's going to take a minute with the anime and the manga. And I have got an instant anime and manga collection, thanks to a couple of very kind people. And on the next proper square up vid, I will show you guys, like, it's a lot. It's right now it's covering my dinner table. I'm getting it all out in an order so I can take a picture of it. Thank you, Jack White. And again, I'm rooting like hell for you and Meg to get back together. I was once debating with my dad how tough my Taekwondo instructor was. My dad said he would knock him out before he got his shoes off. Justin Doyle for 5 pounds. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, I think the like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I think that's like the real deal stuff. David Tyson for 5. I mean, it's all real deal. Mad respect for anybody who gets a black belt and achieves all that stuff. It takes tons of training and discipline, and it's brilliant. David Tyson for 5 Australian dollars. Thank you. Sir Chi 87 for $2 says, hey, Gary, Ahmad Aubrey got justice. Kamala Harris 2024. Ahmad Aubrey got justice. Who is Ahmad? Is that the guy? Hang on. He got justice? I don't know. If Kamala Harris runs in 24, it will be she will get destroyed. All the fortifying in the world couldn't get her elected. I'm grateful for finding you all, Razor, the quartering, the like-minded geeks that even thought might not agree with me on everything. I'm right of Genghis Khan, and you are good people. I'm right of Genghis Khan, are good people I could have a conversation with. You've all helped white pill me. Good. Sorry, I butchered that. I was like, Genghis Khan. Okay. But of Doom, thank you for the $50. Thank you. Of course, we don't have to agree with each other. That's ridiculous. I don't agree with my wife. If we agree with each other on half the stuff, that's a win. That's a win. Autumn Marabellis for $4.99 says, I'm thankful for you, Gary. Nerdrotics has given me or given us a voice. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and everyone. We're stronger together. We are. Using a Hillary Clinton saying there, but let's just take it from her, shall we? Will Weldman for 100 Mexican dollars. We love that. Says, happy Thanksgiving. I am with my father as I watch Marvel destroy fathers. Rest in peace, Hawkeye, and males everywhere. Nerdrotic for life. Hail. I think, I don't know. I still think they have a lot of time to deconstruct Hawkeye, but even if they, again, he's a guest in his own show. And they didn't make it a secret that Kate Bishop's going to be in it. But when I saw the credits roll around and Hawkeye wasn't in the credits and it was all Kate Bishop, I'm all, oh, it's Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, which is known as Kate Bishop, just like why Miles Morales isn't known as Spider-Man. He's known as Miles Morales because Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Gary, will you do a review on Black Panther 2, please? Also, when are you coming back to Berkeley, California? The Bay Area community misses you, bro. Come back, please. Sir Chi 87 for $5. I hope to, and I mean this most sincerely, never set foot in Berkeley, California ever again for any reason whatsoever. I can't think of a possible reason I would go there. The weather was nice. That's about it. I wouldn't even go to a Comic-Con there. Punk Rock Pirate for $20. But I would, maybe Northern California. I would go back to Marin, like San Rafael, places like that. I like that. Punk Rock Pirate for $20. Hail, Gary, and the rest of the fellowship. My normie 80-year-old mom has loved the MCU up to this moment. She gets it and why it might be happening, but explaining the lore only makes her more upset about what could have been. Yeah, they skipped decades of good storytelling to get right to this basic bitch woke shit. Like they're not even, they're bypassing like even the good Kate Bishop stuff. Like, why not start with the Young Avengers? Why not just bring out a little Teen Titans version of the Avengers? It was fun, but instead they wanted to use them to pass the torch and have the mantle and be feminist comic books. And yeah. Oh, why do I call it a feminist comic book? Because it says it right there in the review on the cover of Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, Volume 1, the perfect feminist comic book. Unreadable, basically. The Craig Lee Lawrence Experience for $10. Two questions. One, is that a baby black mana behind you on your arcade? No, that's Mahler. Mahler. It's a Mahler plushie. Is that the Fifth Doctor figure on your right beside the Flash? Thankful for meeting you back in Vegas during Chrissy's comedy show. Ah, yes, and it was great meeting you too. Thank you. No, that is Constantine. So Flash, Judge Dredd, Matt Ryan's Constantine, Hellboy, and then that's a 1/6 scale of me. Then Spider-Man, Juggernaut, Ant-Man, Iron Spider from the comics, Metacom Wolverine, Armored Spider-Man, Winter Soldier. No, that's not Winter Soldier. That is Age of Ultron Cap. There's Black Widow. I can do this all day. You can see Conan right here. That's a Stan Lee. These are Daleks. All my Doctor Who stuff is right here. So there's Capaldi. right there. Matt Smith and David Tennant, War Doctor, Eighth Doctor, and just like some other stuff. Behind all of them is my complete Doctor Who DVD collection. All the available episodes on DVD are right there. They take up the whole shelf. And then you can see the Fourth Doctor right there in the very back with the TARDIS. Yeah. And then Christopher Reeve Superman. And then all the shit in the wall. That's the Doctor Who side. Then it goes Marvel, some Star Trek. The whole place is plastered with shit. Trust me. Here, let's go over there. I got to fix Nebula's hand, but yeah. It's just plastered with stuff. See? Everywhere. Oops. There we go. All right. Craig Lee Lawrence, thank you. Rude Dude Reviews. I did that. Yes, again. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition Saturday. I will be there Saturday, tomorrow, Friday Night Tights, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time with just some guy and the gang. Chrissy Meyer, everybody. She's our new person there. I learned in the military that holiday season is also suicide season. Thank you for giving us a place to go and not to be alone. Pyro Amos for $5. Indeed. When I was in San Francisco, I haven't been able to do it, and it sucks. I used to volunteer my time at the Gratitude Center, and I would go there and lead meetings on holidays when nobody wanted to do it. So I would do the 8:00 at night Christmas Day meeting or 8:00 at night Thanksgiving meeting. Kind of missing that. So that's why I'm doing this instead. And yeah, I've spent a lot of holidays alone. So it's been a long time. So I'm like, hey, what the hell? Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Happy Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, Gary. Thankful for this channel, and I'm thankful for you, Craig Lee Lawrence Experience, for $2. I wish our heroes and superheroes were taken seriously. Disney is a joke, my man. Hail to you in the fellowship, says Sonora Baptista. Darth Bredicus. Rogers the musical, more like Rogered, for $2. Rogers, I made this analogy in last live stream, but Rogers the musical within this show, and Disney doesn't realize that Disney Plus is Rogers the musical in the MCU. Mike Hill, which new show is worse, Hawkeye or Cowboy Bebop? I answered that one. Dent and Happy Thanksgiving for $10. Thank you. P.S. When I told him it wasn't, when I told him it wasn't, he told me to look up the definition of insurrection. I wanted to give him a black eye for that, for $5. Yeah. Did he look it up? Chris Johnson for $10. I think we desperately need and want a new Warriors movie. Well, we almost had the new Warriors TV show with the AT&T girl as Squirrel Girl. And the AT&T girl, she was in Silicon Valley. She plays like a Satan worshiping girlfriend to the Canadian guy in season 1. She's really hot. Really hot. My memories of my father in front of the TV on 2016 was him watching sports and news near nonstop. Why do you think I call him Boomer? Jack White. There you go. Jack White for $5. Indeed. Fusebox for $5. Hail the Phantom Menace. Outlaw Night is still in demand on Indiegogo. Need some fundage for issue 2 if you haven't gotten it. Where have you been? Outer space? So speaking of Indiegogo, that brings up a very interesting thing. Let me pull up a picture for y'all. This is troubling. Very troubling. It is the Crowdfunding and Trust Alliance, and it's between Indiegogo and GoFundMe. Our good boy, your boy Zach, tried to downplay it on a video a couple of days ago. And I mean, like, he knows more about crowdfunding than I do, on Indiegogo anyway. And but I mean, people have used GoFundMe for for a lot of good reasons. And yes, there's a ton of fraud on both, and you have to watch out for fraud. Absolutely. But speaking specifically of crowdfunded projects and we'll just say conservative crowdfunded projects, or more importantly, perceived conservative crowdfunded projects and projects on GoFundMe. Like, say, if I did something on Indiegogo, not saying I'm going to, Az and I are thinking about doing a book called Santa's Ex-Husband. We want to do it next year, but we're going to do it very differently. Fuck it. I'll let the cat out of the bag now. When it goes, if and when we do this, it will be printed and done before we put it up. It'll be ready to go. It'll be ready to go. We'll probably, depending on how it sells, we're going to print a limited amount, but we're going to make sure before we even put it on Indiegogo that the book is done. End of story. That being said, if there is even a conservative project or conceived or perceived conservative project, they could shut it down through this alliance. Now, Indiegogo in the past has never showed a propensity to do that, but I want to remind everybody, and absolutely everybody, that Indiegogo is in San Francisco. And I looked at their CEO yesterday, and I looked at the people who work there, and they all worked for Reddit, Silicon Valley, big tech stuff. So, I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility thinking that this could be the good old bait and switch, kind of like what Black Rifle Coffee did. Black Rifle Coffee is now publicly traded. Lauren Chen did a great video on this, pointing it out, and they were totally fine being looked at as a right sympathetic coffee company, which they were just fucking woke, and they used you, and they don't need you anymore. I think Indiegogo might feel like they're at that spot. Maybe they're about to be publicly traded. Maybe they're up for sale. Maybe they just got enough money. I don't know, because a lot of these companies see that money as, and this is not how I see it, this is how they see it, as dirty money. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I just think this is a horrible sign, and I absolutely think this will be used against people for political and ideological purposes. Period. Not for business purposes. They will basically just keep you off the platform, blacklist you, gatekeep you if you are a conservative, or if you're just not sucking the knob of the system enough, or you have gone back and said, you don't like masks or something like that. I think it will be used for that. So that should be concerning. Clownfish did a video on it as well, and they pointed out that you don't need Indiegogo, that you can crowdfund on your own at certain places. Now, they can always chase you down. They can always use payment services, all kinds of stuff. And they did that to Subscribestar. So we just need to be wary of this stuff. We do. I'm not saying get off Indiegogo or don't use it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying use it right now until something changes, and it might not change, but don't be surprised if it does. I believe Richard said in his video that he had that they're tightening up the ship a little bit there. They're wanting people to explain their project a little more, talk about the timetable and all that, which is, I mean, understandable. But just keep that in mind. Big tech is still working against you. I mean, like, it's what's happening on YouTube. The dislike button, got taken away the public dislike button, which is essentially the dislike button. And lo and behold, it didn't make the bad content creators content good. But Father Christopher Miller pointed out something yesterday that I thought is a great example of why the dislike button is important and why you shouldn't listen to, well, the creators who are for the dislike button are the usual suspects. But here we go. That horrible song Friday by Rebecca Black. 1.3 million likes. 156 million views. Wow, must be a good song. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Friday. I guess she can sing now, but that song was terrible. So they're always working against us, and it's one thing we just need to understand, those of us who are on the counterculture side, the one on the rebellious side, the speaking truth to power side, whatever side you want to say, the fellowship, whatever we do, we need to keep in mind that we will not be held to the same standards as somebody who capitulates to the system, who's a little corporate simp, who, basically is commercialized or just goes completely woke. We're not going to be held to the same standards. They're going to be looking to get rid of us whenever they can. Even the ones who pretend to support us. Sure, they'll like our money for a while. They'll like your money. It's more important. It's your money that they like, until they feel like they can live without it. Then they'll move on. We need to understand that at all times. And that's why it's very important that we behave better. Now, there's just some people who will not like us at all for whatever reason. Who won't like us because I don't like their Marvel stuff. So they get very upset if I don't like their Marvel stuff. So they'll call me whatever. Can't do anything about that. These are adults, by the way. But it's important that we try to hang together as much as we can. It's important that we behave, because again, anytime we behave badly and we do something wrong, and anytime we make a mistake, they will pounce on it. And they, our detractors, will pounce on it and use it against us all the fucking time. That's why it's like, before I go and have a meltdown on Twitter, take a breath. Take a breath. That's why I stay out of drama. It's exactly why I stay out of drama, because you know who wins? The detractors. Our detractors. Gives them some content, then they predict our death, and then we survive. But it's like, let's force our detractors to do what they say they want us to do. Make good content. Make good content. I mean, I'm sure it's a very comfortable narrative to believe that, oh, my content is great. People aren't finding it because the fellowship or the algorithm, whatever helps you sleep at night. Algorithm gonna algorithm, but to really just shatter this with these very inconvenient facts, My very short Ghostbuster review without spoilers did just fine. My very short Suicide Squad video did great. My Snyder Cut video did great. Did fantastic. Couldn't be happier. These are things I liked. So now that the dislike button is gone, and now that you've had reality served up to you, detractor, when you're a content creator, it's kind of just up to you to connect to your audience and maybe just, I don't know, have a better take. Film criticism, music criticism, art criticism requires good taste. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything. Like Az and Mahler, I respect the hell out of them. Last Crusade is not better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just not. It's just not. So we're not going to agree on everything. We're going to have a little disagreement there. I still love Last Crusade. I fucking adore that movie. You know, but you have to overall have pretty consistent good taste. Az and Mahler have very overall consistent good taste. So does the Critical Drinker. So do the better critics out there. Even Red Letter Media totally disagree with them on Ghostbusters, but I respect those guys. I do. I would at least listen to them. And it's like your boy Zach. On certain comics, I'll listen to him. On television, movies, mostly won't. But on certain comics, I will. Matt Baker for $9.99 says the Kyle case was a W for the left. The fact that they got him in court for using his Second Amendment. They already won. What do you think? Only if he was found guilty, Matt. I disagree. Now, I think if you're talking about optics, like it shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have been there. And the reason he got put in there is because he was made a political football by the mainstream media. Yeah, but they didn't stick the landing. That's why it's such a white pill moment. After a year of the media manipulating shit, telling us that like peaceful protests were shit that was fucking on fire and people were dying, and they were coming out and calling it a peaceful protest. And then at where the guy drove the SUV through a bunch of people at a Christmas parade, killing kids, that was a terrorist act in every sense of the word. And they're saying an accident caused by an SUV. Well, fucking for safety's sake, I locked my FJ Cruiser in my garage. I'm just looking out for y'all because my SUV might go off. But no, it was a win. It was a win for justice and truth. No, he shouldn't have been there. His defense team wasn't the best. The prosecutors were a fucking joke. The whole thing was a fucking joke, and that's why it was a win. And then we got the extra added win of Hollywood completely exposing themselves for being non-principled, narcissistic, vapid, freaking retards. Like Pedro Pascal, whose family fled his home country, fled authoritarianism, dictatorship, because they were communist. And he comes here and he roots that kind of shit on. And then he shows sympathy for Fredos, for diddlers. And Mark Ruffalo does the same thing. And they are going to fucking die on that hill. Those fuckers will be known for that forever now. You know, when Meryl Streep called Harvey Weinstein God and then stood up and gave a fucking standing ovation to Roman Polanski, and like that's pretty much everybody's fucking image of her now, not her great career as one of the greatest actresses who ever lived. It's standing up for a child diddler and praising a fucking abuser of women that she fucking knew about. Everybody fucking knew about and did nothing about. So now Mark Ruffalo, you hear that name? Oh, you knew him as the wacky liberal who would be on every fucking cringe political commercial imaginable. Now you know him as the guy who showed sympathy to Alfredo. You can't shake that shit. You can't create or make, or you have no control over your own legacy, the perception. The universe chooses that for you. Oh shit. Das Gecko for $5. Woo, this is back in the old days. Hail, Gary, what was Entropy Comics? What did you write for them? Also, how do you work? How did you work for Technicolor while still owning a comic shop? Das Gecko, it's a very good question. Entropy Comics was my own comic book label where I wrote and published 2 comic titles of my own making that you'll probably never see. They're not very good. I just did it for fun. It was never supposed to be anything serious. It was basically comics I wrote for my friends and passed around. There was a one called Dark Legion. The other one's Horror Show. Horror Show is basically little vignettes of my life as a criminal punk rocker and how I met Melissa, and we used to do the Rocky Horror Picture Show and get really fucking high and get in fights and just my crazy life from when I was a kid. And then there was Dark Legion, which was my high concept, multi-genre superhero story, which was supposed to be dark fantasy meets universal horror meets superheroes, which maybe I'll do in my retirement. It's a story that's been spinning in my head since I was 12. And I think it could be good, but I'm not a writer. I'm not a very good artist. I'm an artist. I could draw. I'm capable at drawing. Very capable, but I'm not like good or great. Like, is there any example of my art around here? I haven't drawn in a long time. I'll have to show you someday. So Entropy Comics was mine. Dark Legion was the name of my comic, and I'm fully aware that Vox Day has a comic line called Dark Legion, but I actually own the copyright to Dark Legion. I haven't done anything about it because whatever. And Technicolor. How did I work at Technicolor? I own the comic shop from afar. So I had a partner who was working there during the week. I worked at Technicolor during the week. I came home on the weekends. I saw my family, did a little work in the comic shop, but I did most everything, remotely. I did all the ordering and I just didn't do the day-to-day in the store for a couple of years. year, 8 months, 9 months. I worked in Hollywood for almost 2 years while owning the comic store right after the recession. So the recession, the comic store flatlined. Like it was breaking even, but I couldn't live off it anymore. So I had this idea of bringing a friend on, and basically it's like, hey, the shop will be a hobby. Basically, we'll make a couple bucks off it, but I have to go get a day job. I didn't want to go back to fucking auto parts again. So I took a 4-month video intensive course at San Francisco State called a video intensive. Cost $10,000. My wife floated me to 10 grand to get through it. And I learned, I knew how to edit. And again, I mean, like I'm artistic. So I know how to play music. I know how to edit. So I have artistic instincts. So creatively, it's basically, it's film school without any theory. You just learn programs and shit. So I picked up Final Cut Pro like that. Like I was like, it's like I was born with it. I taught myself Photoshop. So I know Photoshop. I know After Effects. After Effects, I didn't need the class. I figured it out in like a week. And we started making our own stuff. And it got me a job. So I got the certificate. I also met a lot of people, and through a good friend, Pat Kim, who is the bass player from Unwritten Law, and Christian Martucci, who has been, he's like been a session guitar player. He was in a band called Black President. He's very talented musician. Got me a job at Technicolor. For first, I worked at Ascent Media, where I was chaptering iTunes movies. So basically putting in chapter 1 at 15 minutes, chapter 2 at whatever. I was inputting those. But then I got a much better job as a pre-mastering technician, a job that Technicolor made up. It's a fucking intensive job because I was the last line of defense for Blu-rays and DVDs. And I had access to all kinds of fun shit. I worked right next to the vault. So I had like, the digital copy of Thor in my hands, like the master. I worked on over 1,000 titles, including True Blood, Mars Needs Moms, just fucking Paranormal Activity, anything that was Paramount and HBO. And I did that until I didn't like it. I also did a bunch of contract side work while I was there. So I did a bunch of helping out people editing. I've edited unofficially on a couple of major television shows. And I helped somebody clean up some work for some reality shows. I did whatever work I could. I lit stuff. I was okay. I just learned a lot of shit. So I was okay. I was just willing to work. Right. So, yeah, I'd drive to LA Monday through Friday, come back to San Francisco, hang out with the family, come back Sunday night, get back to work. I worked a night shift, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., 12 hours. And it was mostly 5 days a week. Yeah, it was supposed to be 4, but it was mostly 5. Now I did book a ton of fucking overtime and made a bunch of money, which was good because I wasn't making at the comic store, but I decided to come back to the comic store. And I did, and I got really reinvigorated, but and it worked for a couple of years. It really did, but it went right to my head. Like the comic store like blew the fuck up when I got back. But then I went to my head and I relapsed. But that's how I did Technicolor and worked at the comic store at the same time. I worked my ass off. Alexander Evans for $5. Hey, found you recently from Mahler and Drinker Streams. Keep it up. Refreshing to hear people speak their mind. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's all I know how to speak. It shows you how fucking bad it is out there too. So Alexander, I appreciate it. Raging Rhino. What's up, buddy? For $2.99. Happy Thanksgiving, Gary. Hope you had a good one. I did, buddy. Hope you're doing okay down there. Kevin Stick Evers for $4.99. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. JB24 for $13.99. Happy Thanksgiving. I created a PT villain on an earlier stream. Oh, I read this one. Can't wait to share it with you. Okay, I read that one. Steve, 2848 for $100. Doctor Who is lost, but I'd love to see a decent classic Dalek TV series, not animated, grasping at straws since it hasn't been mentioned since the Destroyers in 1988, but it's a day for thanks and a season for hope. Hail Gary and hail the Fellowship of the tights. And hail to you, Steve 48 or Steve 848 for $100. Thank you. And then we have Lawson Brady. Sorry, did you read my message? Sorry, I don't trust YouTube. Sorry, I don't. I love you guys. I will just say I almost came to tears when I think about you all. I love you all, and I can't wait to meet you from Columbus. Go. From Columbus, Georgia. Sorry, not go. Yeah, Lawson, I saw this one. I don't know if there was one earlier. I'll check, Lawson. Give me just a moment. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. We love you too. There we go. I got the one earlier for $5, but there's nothing in there. Placebo for $5 says, thanks, man. I got locked up small time for, hang on, for 18. At 18 on Christmas Day, spend a lot of holidays alone in the military as well. Keep fighting the good fight. I will, Placebo. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. Would you ever consider going on a pop culture breakdown on Sunday with Doomcock and his crew? I would consider all kinds of things after I move. Jack White for $5. I would. But as I said earlier, right now, I am committed to all I can commit to right now because I need time to make videos. And essentially I only have a couple of days to make videos now. And I'm very slow. Poor Perry's been waiting for a bunch of stuff for me that I have a lot of stuff started and nothing finished. But after I move, I'll reassess. I will reassess. Terry Presley, happy Thanksgiving, Gary. Disney Star Wars sucks, but I really like Rogue One. Am I wrong? No, if you like Rogue One, you like Rogue One. It's okay. I think in isolation, it's totally fine to like it. What does the celebrating Rittenhouse acquittal and shooting up an anti-vaxxer protest have in common? I don't know either, but that didn't stop a former acquaintance from using that in an argument, says Wilson, the unauthorized biography. Yeah. I mean, I'm still waiting to find out what not liking The Last Jedi and pointing out the MCU has anything to do with fucking January 6th, but people have been trying to conflate it for a while. Oh, or QAnon. Or QAnon. They're really trying to push that we're part of QAnon. Grasping at shit. And it's just like you say, the detractors, have no counter argument. Other than I just like it. Okay, then just fucking like it. I don't give a shit if you fucking like something. I can care less. But it seems to really bother them that we don't like it. Like they need us to like what they like. What does that say about their mentality? What's that say about self-confidence? Well, it doesn't exist. That's what it says about it. I need you to validate what I like, or I'm going to just be mad and not like myself. So I'm going to call you a Nazi. And this rolls back to the beginning of our live stream when we talked about the need to have a good father, especially with males, especially with beta males. Sometimes beta males are born, but I think in a lot of cases, they are created. Beta males are created. Beta males, there's always going to be some, and that's fine. Some are harmless. Some are just there. But I wouldn't consider that beta male. Beta male to me is meant to be a derogatory term. And it's an immature male. It's a soft male. Has nothing to do with who they have sex with or choose to anything. There's plenty of alphas out there. But needing me to like your fucking movie, dude, you need me to like your movie that bad. I mean, it's kind of hard to get your head around, but it has everything to do with what the real pandemic is in this country, which is mental health, just general mental health, being comfortable in your skin. Right now, just being confident is considered toxic. But Gary, I thought Hollywood actors were going to take responsibility, asked David Tyson for $5 Australian. That's what they said. Do you think they were acting? My thanks to you, Drinker As, and other streamers for being here today. What would have been a lonely day for me instead felt like a day with friends. Chris from Michigan for $10. That's awesome. That is the whole point. Thanks, Chris. Vanessa Laura for $5. Thank you, Gary, for being my refuge after they murdered Doctor Who. I've met so many new friends. Thanks to you. Happy Thanksgiving. And happy Thanksgiving to you, Vanessa. Thank you. It's my wife, and sorry, I meant fellowship, of course. Speaking of bingo, got things in the works with it for the future. Stay tuned. I better. And that's Master of the TDS, the Trump Derangement Syndrome. He's working on his bingo fucking scorecard, which is awesome. And his wife is adorable. They are, again, a very cute couple. What is this? Echoes in the Film. I got it. Echoes in the Film for $4.99. Happy Thanksgiving, Gary. First time donating. Oh, here we go. Just wanted to tell you that I'm thankful for what you do. You're helping me get through school. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you're going, get through school. Just don't, think for yourself. Okay. Hopefully it's a good school. Those who forgot and hate history are condemned to repeat it. LGB FJB. Happy Thanksgiving. God is good because he led me to true pop culture funny. F you self and the FNT squad. God bless you. And the USA. Seer Ubasan. God bless you too, man. Thank you for the $20. I appreciate it. All right. I'm going to wrap things up. So much for the square up. I got to like 5. Here, I'll read a couple more before I go. HP Lovecraft for 10 Canadian pesos says, hey, man, love your channel. By the way, just watched. It just said, and then it ends. Hang on. Just watched Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within in 4K. Not perfect at all, but the movies back then had heart, unlike modern films. Better film score than 2. Cheers. Yes, that is one thing that's missing is heart. I think that's why I liked Ghostbusters, because it's not a cinematic achievement and it's not like a technical achievement, but it had tons of heart. So maybe I was just a sucker for that. And, I'll be a sucker for that sometimes. Thanks for the holiday stream, says Michael Moon for $4.99. You are welcome. Darth Bredicus for $5. In the beginning was Error, and Error was the beginning. And we go over to this. Yeah, I've really got to eat. I guess I'm going to have corn dogs and pickles or whatever the fuck I'm going to have. Happy for $5 says, hey, Gary, I hate Marvel cringe universe, especially Loki. One positive Hawkeye has a Clint roasting Bishop. I loved it. Did you know that Spider-Man might not be released in China until next year? Uh-oh. F Marvel, F Sony, boycott them, choke the woke. I heard Venom's not coming to China. Oh, you accidentally put that in there twice, buddy. I don't know if you meant to do that. Let me know if you need me to refund the $5. If you do, just hit me up. Gary@gmail.com. Angelo for $5. Nerdrotic rocks. Thanks for all that you do. We the common consumers or customers, I like the word customers, of quality escapism. It would be terrific if you and your compatriots wielded the power of your audience and created original unwoke entertainment for us to enjoy and invest in. Maybe someday. Like right now, and this isn't a complaint, it's just reality. It's I this takes up my entire day and life, and I love it. But if I'm freed up, time is freed up, and I'm allowed to create a little bit, certainly. Like I said, I've got that little story that's been going in my head. It's not little, it's big. And I would have to hire like a professional writer and a good artist, and it would take time to conceive and put out there. And you still might hate it. I don't know. But I think right now, in the meantime, I think this is the alternative. We do cover pop culture, but we are creating our own thing and we're bringing more people to it. And shit, on Friday Night Tights, I think we get to 2 subjects a night, maybe. But thank you. And there are people out there who are creating good stuff. Keep an eye on Eric July. That kid's gonna go places. That guy's good. He's smart. He's a renaissance man, a true renaissance man. And there's other here, I'll show you one right now. I believe it was Icon Comics. That's not what I was looking for. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Iconic. There we go. Doug will like this. Douglas Ernst, a writer, blogger, YouTuber, does a book called Soul Finder through Iconic Comics. I honestly don't know if they crowdfund anymore, but they have their own site where everything is printed and ready to go. And I think this is where things should be eventually. And I really like this idea. So that's why I always kind of pop it up and support it. So if you want to try something indie and fun, I have not read all these comics, so I don't know this one, but I know this one, Soul Finder. Soul Finder is very cool. So it's written by Doug Ernst. It is art by Matthew Weldon. Check it out. So it's iconiccomics.com. I could give my seal of approval for that. There's other folks out there that are doing some good stuff too. But the stuff's out. That's important. That's important. Oh, I got too many links up. Oh my God, I need to get that Kingpin. Fuck. Oh, I've got I've got your gift here. I got to get it out to you. I've got to get it out to you. I've got a present for Az. I got a present for the boys here. Plato for $5 says Nerdrotic rocks. Thanks for giving me the time. Nerdrotic, did I read that one? Oh no, it's 2 people that say Nerdrotic rocks. That's cool. Nerdrotic rocks. Thanks for you giving your time on the holiday. It's my pleasure. It would be terrific if you had. Oh, I already read that one. Okay, cool. My brother now thinks I'm a gullible conspiracy theorist because I think the FBI was involved in January 6th. Big tech is protecting Biden, and the Biden-Ukraine scandal is legit. I don't conform to his mainstream media bubble. What a Thanksgiving. Jordan for $5. Yeah. You're not. You're not. What you saw happen, what you think happened, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a motherfucking duck. Now, we don't know all the details. I'm not an expert on this stuff. You know what? I'm pretty decent at cutting through bullshit. I've seen enough of it in my life. I've dealt with liars and manipulators for long periods of time, and I've had to deal with them in recovery, and deal with them on the fucking streets for real when shit was real. So yeah, another reason I don't get in the fucking drama. It's just based on my life experience. I've been through fucking some hairy fucking shit. So somebody saying mean things or they want to start shit with the channel, I don't give a fuck. I don't. I have more respect for the people on the streets who just wanted to fucking, I don't know, stab me, like literally stab me in the back and not just metaphorically. I at least have more respect for them because at least they're doing it in person. Don't conform. Don't conform. Truth. That's what we want is the fucking truth. Even if it's ugly, even if it's a truth I don't like, even if it proves me motherfucking wrong, I want the truth. That's all. We're not getting the truth. We're not getting the truth. So that leads to people to fill in the blanks. And there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that leads to filling into some probably pretty legitimate blanks, in my opinion. Isn't it interesting that the rioters never went to any government buildings? Isn't it interesting that the rioters never, except in Portland, but I think they're probably more crazy in Portland, but isn't it interesting that they never marched on those places? It seemed very designated, you know? Isn't it interesting how quiet Antifa's been over the last year? There's been plenty of reasons for them to go out there. It's not like Antifa would like Biden. They would hate him just as much, unless, of course, they're organized by a certain party. I'll tell you what, you know, when I saw through the bullshit, you know, when I knew this was bullshit, I grew up in San Diego, lived here for 32 years, stayed connected to this place. My mom's always lived there. I've always had a relative live here, but I am a San Diegan. Okay. Born and bred, know this fucking town, grew up here, know it left and right, all the fucking back roads. This is my home and will always be my home. We don't riot here. Period. End of story. San Diego does not riot. It doesn't give a fuck. So the riot that was here where people bust fucking in. It's probably the same way as it was in Kenosha. Oh, it was. I think people might have even crossed state lines. Larica for 923. Happy Thanksgiving. Girl in the Fireplace is a great palate cleanser. Have you ever seen RTD's Casanova? I have not. Saw for the first time in recently. A lot of foreshadowing to the Ninth Doctor. Thanks for being you, Gary. Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate it. Wow. Titties Smacker 25. Titty Smacker 25 for $3. Friday Night Tights and all the other stuff is awesome. Disney is shit now. Thanks, Titty Smacker 25. Caligula for $20. A new movie called Capital Punishment about the January 6th insurrection. Perfect Thanksgiving movie. Happy Thanksgiving, Gary, and all thanks to you and all you Yanks south of the 49th. Oh my God, it's getting late. David Wozniak for $25. Gary, just wanted to say hail, and I'm thankful for you, your family, and this, I'm going to say, fellowship. God bless. Thank you, David, for 25 bucks. Mr. Rodent, 1971 for $10 says, my donations from last month got returned, so I tried to donate Nerdrotic Live on Streamlabs, which doesn't look like your account. It's not. Old men like me should not be allowed on the internet. Please let me know. Hail the fellowship. Yeah, I don't know why they yeah, Streamlabs sometimes rejects stuff for some reason. I have no control over it at all. But I'll keep an eye on Mr. Rodent. But yeah, Nerdrotic Live. No, there's only Nerdrotic. There is only Nerdrotic, as far as I know. Yeah, there's only Nerdrotic. Yeah, watch out. People have been using my name on Rumble. And yeah, just watch out for that. I'll tell you where I am. I am on Odyssey. I am on BitChute, but I don't pay attention to the BitChute. So I'm on YouTube and I'm on Odyssey. I'm on Minds. I'm on Twitter. I'm still on Parler. And that's it. That's it. My Patreon is done. So I only use YouTube for memberships. And if I do something outside of YouTube, it will be my own website. Free of anybody else. And that will be next year, I think. But right now, I'm just trying to keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what I try to do. Oh, and by the way, thank you to my mods, the Modrotics. They run this like really thankless job, but they're really good at what they do, and I really appreciate them. So I am thankful to them. I'm thankful for my friends, the ones who really have stuck by me, and just the relationship that we have at Friday Night Tights. It's more than just a bunch of dudes streaming. Like we're pretty tight, and it's just a rare thing on the internet. It really is. Groups that big, I can't predict the future. People come and go. I don't expect anybody to stay forever, but I'm enjoying it like week to week. And we have such a fucking good time. And hopefully the changes we made will make it a little easier on everybody. Cause like, honestly, the 6-7 hour shows were wiping, including me, wiping everybody out for the next day. And they've got other channels to think about. And like, shit, I spend my whole day on it. And sometimes two. And I really appreciate them. They're fun to hang with. And, I talk to Az and, even Mahler I talk to all the time, but it's fucking great. It's fucking great. And you guys, just meeting you at meetups, getting to actually see you, really solidifies what we do. Like it fires us up. It reinvigorates us. Not that we need it that much, but it's just, I'm in here by myself a lot. So I don't have I'm not bouncing my opinion off anybody. And I got to make real sure that all my shit doesn't sound like it's fucking perfect. So I have to bounce it off my friends, and it's good to hear that, but it's also good to hear it from you guys. You guys keep me humble and you keep me sane. And I will never be able to thank you enough for it. Especially last year, which was, much harder on my wife than it was on me. And that's why, it's one thing that my wife, had to deal with like real life shit. Her father passed away a year and 10 days ago. Like right before Christmas, her dad passed away. Her dad passed away because he had heart problems, but there was also fucking COVID fucking everything up. So he wasn't able to go to his doctor's appointments as regular as he could have. And yeah, there's that. She lost her business. And we just saw the guy who cost so much business in this state get fucking, when we had a chance to get him out, they voted him back in. Was it fortified? I don't fucking know. They mailed the ballots out. So I think all mail ballots, I think it's a crooked situation. I think it's shady as fuck. Pretty much anybody who is against full transparency when it comes to an election is against honest elections. And now we have a lot of people in this country who are, for very good reason, questioning it. But when we had a chance to show that the people had the power, and yeah, I don't know if it would have changed much, but it would have been a scalp for the people, a metaphorical scalp. California chose to conform. They chose to kneel. They chose convenience over freedom and liberty. And it was very disappointing seeing people who used to work at the salon and lost their job because of that vote for what cost them their job. That's how fucking brainwashed people are, or just intellectually lazy. I don't know which one it is. But one thing we can't dance around on this Thanksgiving, we need to understand that there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there that need to figure shit out or get the fuck out of the way. And it's becoming a problem because they are multiplying like fucking rabbits. And yeah, when I think about it, I get angry. But on top of all that, then, my wife, who doesn't get involved in internet shit, doesn't care about, most normal people don't understand internet drama, optics. She gets fucking pulled into that shit on top of all that. And she took it like a champ. And it was very irritating to watch. It's very difficult to bite my tongue till it bled, but I did. And glad I did it that way. And we made it through. So we got the house. Things are looking good. This channel's going to rock. We're going to keep having fun. And hopefully over this next month, I've really got an itch to do some fun things. For example, I don't know if I'll have time to do it, but I'll at least try to do one or two. Is review a couple of Doctor Who Christmas specials. I always watch all the Tennant and Smith, and I'll throw in Capaldi this year, Christmas specials. Maybe we could put them on the memberships, and then Nerdrotic Live. We can do watch parties. We can, because I can do watch parties like completely somewhat off the grid, where we can actually watch stuff together. I just don't know how legal it is, but I mean, like, there's ways to do it because I have a website that I can stream things through. Something for the normies for $49.99. Gary, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Normie wife and I saw Ghostbusters last night. Not a perfect movie and a tad too many member berries for me, but gave respect to the original. My review should be up tomorrow. If you have time, do not comply. I will check it out. Something for the normies. Thank you for the $49.99. I appreciate it. I'm waiting to see it a second time until my son gets home. My son gets home in like a week or so. I miss him to death. I haven't seen my son in 3 months. It's killing me. It's fucking killing me. The worldwide pedo ring of the elite needs to be treated like the Nuremberg trials. Hail the fandom. Worse. They need to be treated like the Salem witch trials. And you want to talk about something that everybody knows fucking exists. I wonder how that Ghislaine trial's going. I wish I could send you some Thanksgiving dinner, Gary. Found you, Dan and Drink are all about the same time and been an avid listener since. God bless. Aw. How do I say your name? Chimenzia? Chimenzia. Thank you. My sister's name is Chamisa. My little sister. Ready to see STH2 movie? Sir Ubasan. What's STH? Star Trek? No. What's STH? I don't know what the acronym is. I'm ready to see Spider-Man. Did you see the Lotus Eaters video where they talked about how 2/3 of young college graduates have anxiety? Wow, it's almost like teaching people all these things in life are political, teaching people that all things in life are political has consequences. Jack White, thank you for the $20. You are correct. I think with kids, there is an actual environment, global anxiety because we have had teachers telling them that the world is going to end. So you see Greta Thunberg, like she actually thinks we're in the 6th grade extinction. She actually thinks that, and people are convinced. Now, first and foremost, climate is always changing, always, always, always. And before you say follow the science, you're following a science, not the science. There isn't a massive consensus on how it's changing. There is a consensus on it is changing. Don't litter. Don't dump shit in the fucking ocean. Cut up your little, for your 6-packs, cut your little things up so the birds don't choke on it. I buy glass shit as much as I possibly can. I do what I can. And wouldn't it be great if we could all fucking afford a Tesla, but we can't. And Yellow Flash made this point. It was great. Family cars need to be bigger. Now I know Tesla's working on it. I know they're working on it, but you do what you can. Okay. But as imperfect as Tesla is, it's the best electric car out there. But you do what you can. Climate is always fucking changing. 12,000 years ago, there was an extinction event, and the Earth bounced back in a couple 3,000 years. But that, which was almost a 6th grade extinction, it took that to get us out of an ice age that we were in for 100,000 years, where the average global temperature was 18 degrees colder than it is now. So shit's always changing. We are actually in the warmest period for the longest time that we've been in for a long time. By the way, warm is good. Warm is good. And they're talking about a degree in the next and we're not the country belching fucking shit in the air. Talk to India and China about that, please. But Randall Carlson, I always talk about this. Watch Randall Carlson. He's right here on YouTube. He's good. He's also on HowTube. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. If I missed, I will. If I missed some, I can't think if it's many. Tell you what I'll do. If X-Ray Girl is out there, if I missed some tonight, I will read them on Friday Night Tights. Okay. It's so weird. YouTube changed something. That's what I was looking at. I was like, God dang it, they're always changing something. Dub. Who's Dub? Speaking of Dub, there's a guy named Snow Dub out there who lived in Vegas, and I went to Vegas and I didn't see Snow Dub. I was a little surprised about that. Dub for $2. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for the $2. Thanks, buddy. June's Melody for $19.99. Happy Thanksgiving, Gary. Keep calling it out. I will keep calling it out. Nate D for $5. Comics Division is streaming soon. Everybody should go over there. Hail, fella. Is he? Let me see. Let me see. Did you just come into my live stream and tell where people can go, Nate D? That is so rude. You can ask me. I'll send people over to Comics Division. Yeah, streamers love it when people come in and go, "Hey, this guy's streaming over there." We don't love it. But I am wrapping up. So let me see if Comics Division is streaming. Boop, boop. I'll give you the link. Hang on. There we go. All right. If this is indeed, yeah, he's streaming. Okay, so I've got the link. It's starting in 2 minutes. So I want you to raid the shit out of this motherfucker. All right. Here you go. There you go. Rate it. Go rate it. Go get them. Say Nerdrotic sent you. All right. So thank you to everyone. It was a great Thanksgiving spending it with you. If I missed a super chat, it will be read on Friday Night Tights. Okay. Tomorrow. Square up. I did a little one earlier. I'll try to get one out in the morning, but I got to get my Hawkeye video out tonight. By tomorrow morning. And I'm also working on Star Trek Discovery. San Francisco video will be next. It'll be before December 1st. So my San Francisco goodbye video will be before December 1st. Picard, I'm shooting for before Picard release season 2 releases. That's all I can say. I got a little work done on it and it's cool. And I'm going to have some more time. If you're in the San Diego area, 2 things. I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con Saturday. So I'll be there most of the day Saturday. So if you're around, say hi. And it's totally cool. And I'll be there buying some funny books. And then December 16th, we're going to watch Spider-Man No Way Home and do a meetup, a Goodbye San Diego meetup. Details to follow. I'm working on this with John Cocozo. He's helping me out organize this. So we'll find a place. I think tickets go on sale this Monday. I'd like to rent out a theater. I don't know if that's possible for a brand new fucking movie on premiere night. Probably not, but I'm going to try. Yeah, that's it. That's all for now. So thank you to the Modrotics. Thank you to every single person who tonight or ever has donated and left a super chat. We appreciate you all. You help pay my mom's rent. Yes, you do. You help pay my mom's rent. My sweet, dear mother lives in very comfortably right now, thanks to you guys. Okay, where she wasn't before, and she requires a lot. We're gonna have to move her soon because she needs a little more now. But you guys have helped out a lot. So for my family, Mrs. Nerdrotic, Nerdrotic the Tall, Nerdrotic Jr., I thank you all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. You can start pulling out that Christmas shit. It's time. And you know what? Have a fucking great holiday season and party and celebrate twice as hard because you got robbed last year. We all got robbed. There will be a Friday Night Tights on Christmas Eve. Tune in then. There will be a Friday Night Tights on New Year's Eve. Join us tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time with just some guy and the lads. You guys are fucking fantastic. I will see you all later. Please enjoy some Dan Bask.
Here they come and the crowd cannot wait. Oh, hail Friday Night Tights. I apologize because I'm probably late. Oh, hail Friday Night Tights. Radical light.
Stop eating my sesame cake.
Stop eating my sesame cake! Cake, 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 cake,
Pizza time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, fuck! God!
Head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Head on.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Dame, dame.